Last we left off, tensions between yourselves and your untrustworthy pirate allies had snapped. The explosion of gunfire ringing in your ears, you fell into a moment of half combat, half negotiation. Hondo, being targeted by Gambino's ire, elected to drop a smokescreen and get out of dodge. But Gambino is no slouch and gave chase, firing a few more shots into your rogue before Valentine and Mary called for cooler heads to prevail. Sierra, Gord, Tiny let loose some of their frustration via magic. It might be magic and might, but the rest of you and some of your enemies held to see what would come of this potential ceasefire. As Hondo dashed back into the lower chamber, Gambino followed suit and claimed he would be willing to cease and renegotiate the purpose and position of all your parties present. The fighting stopped, but tension was still high. Ultimately, a new deal was struck, a trade of information, and the enforcement of a power dynamic that favored Gambino and crew being the key. With that behind you, you all headed to the main level of the temple, and as the hour passed, waited for the inevitable setting sun and coming war. As night did fall, the dead seemed to rise. Luckily for you, the large force of the Vow seemed to catch their attention first and foremost, and through the thick fog, you could hear the army of the dead clash with that of the Vow. Somewhere in the dark and the fog, the Nightwalker stalks as well. Gambino, with an itchy trigger finger, took the Dreadnought out into the battle with the intent to keep the focus away from here for the time being. However, shortly after his departure, something seemed to approach from the south of the island. As some of you skulked out to investigate, a large shape began to form. Shrouded in flame and calling you out, the unmistakable form of Egoth Vansroy, the Harbinger of War, stepped into the fray. As you began to fall back to the temple, Alana and Hondo, who had stayed behind, suddenly found themselves face to face with another Harbinger, this of Famine, the invisibility fading from Raymond Borealis, who had banished the two before slipping into the temple himself. As you all returned to the temple, Hondo and Alana returned, popping into existence amidst your group, with the warning that Raymond had been here, and you pursued him down into the catacombs, but were first met by Eldrazi assassins, who set an ambush for you as you descended. You fell into a fight with these hidden foes, Mary taking the first strikes and clearing space as the rest of you followed in her path. Two assassins flanked the entrance, and another two revealed themselves from behind two caskets deeper within the room, and fired poison-tipped bolts at your crew. From deeper within, the next chamber below, you hear a shout of pain and a scuffle echo out from below. You pick up here, in the midst of the fray. Hondo, you had just struck out at one of these assassins, attempting to flee your range, and you managed to hit, so you can go ahead and roll damage with Whisper as your attack of opportunity. Mary, you can also roll an attack of opportunity against the assassin who had left your space.
So that's a d20, right?
You've already rolled damage, you hit, so you can just roll, in this case, it's just 3d4 for Whisper. So d4 for the dagger, 2d4 psychic on top.
Shouts to Hondo, 101 episodes in, asking about a d20 roll.
So that was 8 plus what's Whisper's 8 damage modifier, so 16 on that guy. Do this one takes it down to Hondo. As you turn and strike, holding this figure in place, he begins to rush away, and you immediately just jab in, and with Whisper still embedded in their arm, like hold and pull him back into combat range with you. And unfortunately, Ali, as you were getting ready to strike as well, he is no longer running, and you are holding your action. Mary, Leah, if you want to roll for your attack of opportunity as well.
Roll a 23.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. And yes, I think the map is backwards. But
okay. 18.
18 points. Okie dokie. 18 from that is that. Okay. Mary, the same deal. You don't manage to hold this secondary assassin in place. However, they're heavily wounded as they manage to leave your space, and they do turn. I also want to remind these two were fleeing as a result of Gord's dread presence, this like wreath of flame and shadow that surrounds Gord, who is now currently standing, and I'll kind of point out where everyone is on the map. It's a little dark, so hang on. So this is the first assassin here who Hondo just struck. Hondo's right here. Ali, you are in between these two caskets. Gord, you are standing in the middle of this area. You are also currently concentrating on your investiture of flame. Keep that up. So you have both your investiture of flame up, and you've used your dreadful presence, or whatever I called it, I don't remember. But you are in that as well. Mary, you're here. Other assassins, these two popped up and shot crossbows. Lavender and Val, you guys are up in the stairway, so you don't have direct line of sight on actually anybody but your current friends. Just the way you're up in the stairwell. Does that make sense?
Kyle, who's that dude full north right there? Do they have like a circle on them?
Yeah, so they are currently afraid of Gord. So
Got
this
it.
one
Just
is
another assassin?
This one's afraid of Gord. Yeah, as far as you can tell, actually you can't tell because you can't quite see them yet, but the rest of you who are in the room, the 4 enemy combatants all appear to be black leather and the similar Eldrazi armors of the assassins.
Got it. Cool.
It is now their turn. The 2 who are frightened, I believe if they're frightened they have disadvantage to attack while the source of their fear is in play. But as Hondo holds this one in place, he's going to go ahead and give it a shot anyways. So Hondo, with this assassin kind of staring you in the face, that's going to miss. He rolls an 11 to hit, and as you are holding your dagger, piercing him, holding him in place, he strikes with his other hand with the short sword he has, but unfortunately does not connect. He then tries to kind of stab with a secondary dagger that he kind of pulls out from his side pouch. That is an 18 to hit.
No.
He attempts to...
I'm a 19, yes.
19, yeah. So he tries to, but you're still holding that same arm he's trying to kind of strike down with, and he manages to pull his arm free of your blade to strike you, but with that momentary kind of struggle, you manage to easily dodge his attack. The one who fled from Mary is going to turn and pull a crossbow, and is going to fire said crossbow at Mary. May as well fire at Mary. Still at disadvantage. Actually, he rolled really good. 23 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
17.
That's a success. You take 7 points of... Wait, no, sorry. You take 11 points of piercing damage as the bolt manages to sneak through your armor. And you feel immediately the poison on the tip kind of burn into your shoulder. You take 26 reduced to 13 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
With that bolt, and they go to reload and hold their turn there. The other 2 in the back, they pull out another bolt, and they are going to hold their position, and they're going to fire as well. They do not have disadvantage. One is going to go for Gord, and one's going to go for Allie. May as well get everyone they can see. So, against Gord, yeah, that's a 23. Definitely hits your AC, unless you have anything you can protect yourself with. And against Allie, that is a 24.
Oof, these guys rolling good.
That's pretty good so far, except against Hunter. I need both of you to make Constitution saving throws, please. Allie and Gord.
22!
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Probably.
26.
Allie, you have advantage, so you don't need it, but you have advantage. And you have natural dwarven resistance to poison. Regardless, not a problem. As you succeed on the save, both of you, you would take 24 points of poison damage. Both of you are reduced to 12 points of poison damage. And Allie, that's reduced even further to 6. And you each take an additional 8 points of piercing damage off of the first bolt.
Okay.
Gord, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for your concentration of your investiture as you take damage. It's only a DC 10 because you didn't take a ton of
21.
damage. You are fine.
Sorry, how much damage did I take total?
You took 12 and 8, so 20 total.
Kyle, when you have a hot sec, can you give us like an initiative rundown again? I'm sorry, I forget all of this.
That's okay. It's going to be right now because now their turn is over, and I can go through the rest. So they're going to hold position there, and yeah. So it's a little muddy. You know, there was some people who are up in the fight in the top level temple and beyond on the island.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of these guys here and other things that are happening around the world around you. But up next would be Mary.
Okay.
And then we would go Allie, Valentine, Hondo, Gord, Lavender.
Hondo, Gord.
Kyle, the last attack the damage that I took that was halved, I'm not raging right now.
No, but you are a dwarf who.
But it's the resistance?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
so
just making sure.
You're naturally resistant to poison, no matter whether you're raging or not.
Okay, perfect.
And
I just want to make sure.
On the save, so it's like it's quartered essentially.
Okay.
So I don't know why I bother using poison against you, but I do anyway.
Mary was checking on real life Mira. I don't know if she's back.
Oh, what's wrong with Mira?
She doesn't let out a whine.
Oh.
A weird sounding whine. We could switch to Brawley.
Yeah.
Oh wait, she just got back. She just got
I
back.
was just about to say, like, it couldn't be that long. Mira's right beside her. Mary, it is your turn as you return.
Yeah, no, sorry. She was making very strange noises, so I'm gonna still keep an eye on her.
She did eat like something that fell on the floor. It was like a potato when we were cooking dinner. It might have just been too hot, made her stomach feel weird.
I think she's just complaining that her stomach feels.
Yeah.
I gave her a treat, so I'm just sorry.
Or she wants some more.
Yeah, just, give me them taters.
Yeah. You guys got tons.
Okay.
It's also probably Hondo withdrawal.
Okay, so there's me, and then those two. So the crossbow person is the one with the red, right?
Yeah.
Or no, they were a different person.
Technically, this person and all three of these all pulled crossbows. This person, who you can see through your people, has yet to pull a crossbow, but was held in place by Hondo.
Was the one who shot at me? Did they roll with disadvantage?
Yeah, I just rolled pretty good.
Okay. Cool. Just checking. Because I think they're afraid, right?
They are currently afraid. That's why they sprinted away from you, giving you the attack of opportunity as Gord came in behind you looking like fiery death. And they ran away, but turned and still fired a crossbow bolt back in your direction. I just rolled like a 15 and 18. I rolled pretty good.
Okay. And none of us have seen like Raymond's around or anything else like that, right?
Nobody has eyes on. You know that this is the open mausoleum that leads down into the lower layer. You do hear the sounds of a scuffle beyond. You don't see or hear something of saying, "Hi, I'm Raymond. I am in the lower chamber."
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start moving that way.
Okay.
I'll just go my regular movement.
That'll put you there.
Yeah. And then who doesn't look that hurt?
Of the enemies?
Yeah.
The back two have yet to even be kind of touched. They just popped up when we kind of lost the game last.
Okay. I know the one guy's like basically dead, the one who's afraid, but he's also afraid.
The afraid ones are definitely hurting.
Okay. I'm going to take 2 shots at the gray guy on the north end of the map.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's not great. 16.
16 just hits. That's AC.
Oh, okay. Oh, minimum damage. So it's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage on him. Okay.
Second attack is the natural 13, so it'll definitely hit.
Yep.
That's 13 points of damage.
Okay, 13 points. As you fire at him, he is going to... He takes the first arrow, and as you fire the second, he just dodges out of the way of the bulk of the damage, and he's going to have it.
Okay. Third one. natural 19.
Yeah.
And minimum damage again, so 9.
Okay.
Action surge?
No, not yet. I only get 1 of those. I'm not fancy enough to get 2 yet. Then I'll just use my bonus action. I don't really want to waste that. Shit. Would you count eye for detail if I'm just trying to like hear if there's any other people we haven't seen or anything like that? Like if there's anyone else hiding?
Yeah, you can. The whole point of ear for detail and all that is to try and spot hidden things, spot things and clues in most cases. But in this case, you know that some of these figures are hiding, and this makes sense for a perception check here as a bonus action.
Okay. Okay. So that is only 16.
With your, it's not dimly lit in terms of a condition, but it is relatively low lit in here by these blue flame torches, and it's kind of casting these odd shadows across this room. It's rather eerie, and there are many, many places in here that you could hide as well. You know there is something going on below that you have no way of even getting to. As far as you can tell, what you see is what you get here.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. That's your full move, action, and bonus. It'll end your turn. All of you, as you guys are kind of making your way move through this and heading down below Lavender and Valley, as you guys are kind of pulling up the rear of the rest of your group, you hear just mass combat behind you breaking out at a relatively close pace. Not directly behind you, not even quite in the temple yet. You can tell it's a little further out, but you just hear a war cry from a familiar Goliath voice that bellows out, and you can hear just kind of echoing down behind you. It sends like a shiver up both of your spines simultaneously, and you just hear shouts and screams and battle taking off a little ways away, but not quite far enough for comfort.
Where is Tiny?
I'm like not going to make it. Even if I try.
Not here. So that takes us to Alana's turn.
Okay, so hearing the sound closer, I shout out at the top of the stairs because I know Keith is there, and I go, "Keith, get down here!"
Okay.
So I'll signal for him to come down.
He is going to...
Most adorable call.
Just barreling right behind, and Lavender and Valentine, you both hear a sudden just... as this massive goat just... runs up right behind you and stops like heavily in the stairs as he cannot get by either of you, and he is too big to move without causing pain. He is going to be on his way down but cannot make his full move.
Okay.
But you hear him kind of coming.
I hear him coming. Okay. Do I have enough steps to get to the other guy? Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You're just shy.
Okay.
There is a guy like right in front of you.
There is this guy right here. He looks pretty injured.
Okay.
And then, honestly, yeah, to get into melee with any of them, you were just too far out for one without dashing.
Okay. So I'll take out the guy beside me then.
Okay. You kind of pull yourself up onto the catacomb, the casket that is beside you and Hondo, giving you now like equal, like you're eye to eye with this fellow now, and you're able to make your attacks. Go ahead.
Okay. First attack is 21 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Okay. And I get thunder damage still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 18 damage.
Okay, as he just manages to pull back from Hondo's strike, you bring your hammer down, and he just manages to look up as you crack it down on top of him, and you hear his neck snaps in place, and he just crumples to the ground between you and Hondo. He is dead.
Sweet. Is the other guy beside him?
That's Hondo's.
That's
right
Hondo.
now, you have no other enemies in melee, unfortunately. This guy would be the closest, but he is still about 40 feet from you.
Okay. I will just, I'll get up closer to him.
Yep.
I'll say halfway.
15, 20, 25, you can get to about there.
Okay.
That'll easily put you in range to get to him as long as he doesn't move too far away.
Okay.
On the next turn.
Awesome. I think that is it.
You do have a second attack if you wanted to use a ranged weapon. You have javelins, or if you have a hand axe or something like that.
The only problem is with the javelin, I wouldn't be able to pull it back though, right?
I believe so, but yeah, if you don't want to, I was just saying you do have a second attack if you decide you want to use it in some capacity.
Okay. Ooh. Should I save it? No, I'll save it. I'll save it. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I was gonna do my ray, but I'll save that.
We're gonna hold that. Allie ends her turn, takes us to the top of the initiative order, technically, even though we started with the assassins. Valentine.
Wow, I got top, guys.
You're the first up.
What a fucking star I am.
Crazy.
All right, I'm gonna move down these steps. Kyle, can I get down these steps?
Yes. So on the side of Gord here, 5, 10, you can get down. Although you come down and Gord is currently engulfed in flame, and it's a little spooky.
Jesus, Gord.
You good?
I think I'm gonna try and I moved 2 squares, right?
Yeah, use 10, so you got 20 left. 4
I kind of want to go south if I can, like clear the space for Lav.
to go down
Nice.
like this way.
Yes, please.
So you could go, you can get up and over this like catacomb. So
I like it.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Like where do you want to go from there?
Can I duck back to the wall side? Is that okay?
Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, you could basically scooch around to jump over and kind of half be beside Hondo here.
Yep, dig it.
Okay.
And then I will just launch some Eldritch Blasts.
Okay.
I'll-
Who are you targeting?
I'm gonna do 2 at this guy who has fear on him, and one at the guy to his right.
Okay, you got it.
Let's roll some Ds. Ooh, I can roll 3. Oof, really good, really good. What do I add here? 29, 21, and 25.
Yep.
I'll roll the first 2 for fear guy.
Sure.
10. So 10 plus 5 is 15, and then 3 plus 5 is 8.
Yep.
So 15 plus 8 is 23.
This is my favorite part. You should make a compilation on TikTok of you just trying to do math.
I will never. Last guy.
That would be so good.
6 plus 5 is 11. That one's easy.
Okay.
Wait, I'd have these like
Val, as you rush down the stairs, take a quick scan of the combat. You begin you mantle over the first catacomb as you summon the 3 Eldritch Blasts, and you spin, firing 2 at the first guy and 1 hitting the last guy as you just kind of tumble back with your back against the wall beside Hondo, all in one smooth motion. You watch as you turn to look, without even seeing your first 3 shots connect. You look back out and you see the first strike knock that one to the ground. He seems to be gone, or at least fallen, and very likely dead.
Got one.
Movement.
Got one.
And then what do I got here? Is it time for a little bardic inspiration? And then I'll shout to Mary, "We're in the end game now!" That's it.
Is that an inspiration or just a statement?
That's my inspiration.
Literally.
actually.
Oh yeah. Not even inspiring.
That was for everyone, but the magic was directed at Mary.
You got it. Mary, you get a D10
D10.
inspiration. Okay. That is the end of Valentine's turn. Takes us to Hondo. Hondo, the guy you were currently fighting, has crumpled to the ground. Valentine is kind of standing over his crumpled, broken corpse as you stand between him and a flaming gore ray. What are you doing?
How far am I from that guy?
You've got these 2 enemy combatants, 5, 10,
Yeah.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. About 50 feet from either, essentially.
Okay.
You're a little out of range of running, but you do have a thrown weapon.
Because I can do, if I go 20 with my sharpshooter, I'd be okay, right?
Yep. You do not have disadvantage as a result of range, you just have disadvantage as a result of your being poisoned. So yeah,
I'll give it
do you want to go for north or south?
North.
You got it. That'll put you well within range to make a toss as you rush forward, throwing your dagger at disadvantage, unfortunately. First roll is a 9. Second roll is a 10. Wow, very close. So what's your bonus with Whisper?
Plus 13.
Then that hits. That's a 22. So Hondo, as you rush forward, even with the kind of sickness and burning that is kind of giving you faint kind of shudders and shakes through your whole body as every time you run into a combat, your adrenaline spikes. You feel this wave of nausea. You still are confident in your fighting prowess. You huck Whisper forward, I assume teleporting along with it, and you hit and you can roll damage.
3d4, right?
Yep.
7
And
plus
plus
8.
8. Perfect. So that's 15 is that. Perfect. You fly forward as he was preparing like another crossbow, manages to load his crossbow with his next bolt as he's kind of raising up. You manage to kind of connect with Whisper and you teleport directly beside him. That's your action and your movement.
Do I get a bonus?
Yes, you do.
Frostbite. I'll slash him with it.
You got it. Roll an attack with Frostbite. Unfortunately, still at disadvantage. Ooh, that's good. Okay, 16 on the first. Second one is a 4. What's your bonus to Frostbite?
Bonus is 10.
14, unfortunately. As you manage to bring Frostbite up and swipe up, he blocks, holds the crossbow between you, and you kind of connect with the crossbow. He's kind of holding it in front of him, holding and parrying your blade. But he kind of moves the crossbow and your sword out of the way. Unfortunately, you don't connect as he holds that in place. That is the end of Hondo's turn. Takes us to Gord.
Where am I right now? In the...
You are at the base of the
Middle
stairs, right here. About 45 to 50 feet from either enemy.
Okay, I'll run about 15 feet away from the closest enemy.
There you go.
And I will shoot a line of fire right out.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it an attack roll or is it a save against? How does that work?
It's part of my investiture of flame.
Yeah. So do you have to roll?
Use your action to create a line of fire 15 feet long and 5 feet wide, extending from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw.
So
yeah,
dope.
Absolutely. Gord, as you, Valentine, you turn and watch as Hondo kind of teleports off to battle this guy. You just watch Gord calmly walking in his place, his paw prints leaving these flaming footprints behind. This just kind of trail of fire that's illuminating the room. And Gord raises his arm and a pillar of fire rises, stretching out from him directly in front of Hondo. But at this guy who rolls ball sack. But
I
he
shout.
does have evasion, so he technically halves the damage.
I shout, "That's my best friend!"
Go ahead and roll damage, Gord, for that, as he does manage to kind of pull back some and not take the full brunt of the flame that you throw his way.
I rolled a 20, so I guess 10 fire damage.
You got it. Thank you very much. That's your action. You still have a bonus and movement if you want to use it. Actually, yeah, you still technically have about 10 more feet of movement and your bonus.
If I moved within 5 feet of him again, would he take you would take more fire damage, like 1d10.
Is it within 5 feet or is it within?
Any creature that moves within 5 feet of you for the first time on a turn or ends its turn there takes 1d10 fire damage.
Okay, yeah. It wouldn't be right now. It'd be on top of his turn. It would be if he ends his turn there, or yeah. So if you get in position, absolutely.
I'll do that.
Cool. That also technically would have affected Hondo and Mary. So can you roll a d10 for me?
1 sec. I think it might say something about being friendly.
Oh, okay. Only if it says hostile or enemy creatures or creatures of your choice, anything like that.
Is
This
Hondo
says
your
creature.
Yeah, if it says any creature, that does include friendlies, unfortunately.
Oh.
It's
and is
gonna
Hondo your friend though? I mean, even that's a D10.
So yeah, I was
Rolled
gonna
a 9.
Well, Gord rolled higher. So, Mary and Hondo, the two of you, as you start your turns, just a moment ago, you feel the flame of Gord's presence as you both begin to kind of move out of that space to continue your turn. You both take that 9 points of fire damage, unfortunately. Hondo, actually, you're resistant, so you take 4. But that'll end Gord's turn, unless you want to do anything with a bonus, Brock. Are you good?
Nope.
Then we go to Lavender.
I have a cue. How
Go
far
ahead.
away is that really big bad man? Egoth.
You can move back like 5-10 feet and make a perception check. From this distance, where you guys are halfway down the stairs, you have no line of sight.
That would be your action though, probably. Right, Kyle?
Very likely. You could, like, if you wanted to move up the 10 feet and just use your passive to see if you get anything kind of glancing, you'll have to burn that 10 feet of movement to see what you can quickly see. If you want to actively get a better idea, it is your action to try and perceive how far away and what he's doing.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I have very poor perception.
I
saw your little-
know that.
I saw our little cursor hover over minus.
I was waiting for you to be like at disadvantage, and I'm like, oh no, I am always at disadvantage. Okay, I will do like a passive little look without my action because I just want to see.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Assuming at disadvantage.
no, so it is your passive perception,
Oh.
which is a stat you have, which I believe, if you have a -1, is probably a 9.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So you move up the 10 feet, you kind of scooch past Keith, you give him a little pat on the head. As you kind of look up over his butt, just kind of peering, trying to get an idea.
Whisper.
You do see through the fog that is heavily kind of coating everything outside of the temple. You have a pretty clear line of sight through the temple and then the fog. And just within the fog, you just see swirling flame at the edge of a sword as it's just carving down into folks. It looks maybe 100 to 150 feet. It's a little difficult to say in terms of distance because the fog is kind of obscuring and you're kind of looking through a lot. But because it's night and the fog, the flame is kind of adding this like highlighting element to it. You do manage to see that.
He'll be here in less than 10 minutes, say.
Oh, for sure.
Great. Okay. Abort plan number 1. Go
You got
to plan number 2. It was going to be dope, though, guys. Okay, so then I run down the stairs, jet to the right.
See how much movement you have. Right
You
now.
will get to the bottom of the stairs. With the movement it burned you to get up and then come back down. You can only get to here.
Can I just, like, against the side of the stairwell?
Yeah.
And, like, can I, like, get out of the way if Keith was going to run down the stairs?
Yeah, he could get around you. So if you wanted to go here, it's more or less the same amount of movement. And he can scoot past you and get over towards Frog.
Why no? I am then going to firebolt the nearest baddie.
You got it. Make an attack roll.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. 13
Plus.
plus
It'll hit.
10, 23.
You got him.
Now 3d10.
You got it. 3d10.
Roll some Ds.
Called ASMR.
One's off the table.
Got a 10 plus an 8, 18 plus 3, 21, baby, plus 10.
Nope.
Just kidding.
That's too many.
I'm just trying to trick you, Kyle.
You're on the ball.
We're not that deep in. I haven't had too many beers in 6 hours.
Shit, you gotta wait.
To muddy my brain yet.
Gotta wait.
Yeah, we should send him some alcohol for like the last game.
You guys don't even realize you're there yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Skip the dishes. Can we skip the dishes? Alcohol.
That's your action. You manage to you cut the distance, split the difference between Mary and Brawley, and send a firebolt directly into this figure who finishes just standing up, pulling back the end of his crossbow, and just gets blasted with some fire. You see the fringes of his cloak and hood, and this kind of scarf he wears around the lower half of his face begin to kind of catch fire and burn.
Okay. Can I yell out, just so everybody knows, the big scary guy on fire is very close to us, and I'm not talking about Gord.
Yes, you can, and that will end your turn unless you want to do anything for a bonus action. You don't typically have a ton.
Nah.
Yeah. This like healing word is kind of like your only bonus I can think of. You have inspirations. So.
Yeah, healing, inspo, and sorcery points, but I think you're good.
Yeah,
you can change sorcery points to spells as a bonus.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, I'll just yell.
You got it. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah, shit. So as you guys are in the midst of this combat, Lavender yells out saying what sounds like Egot is on the way. You hear a scuffle from below, kind of echoing up through the halls. You hear some faint kind of shouting, muffled combat of some kind. I'm going to see what happens over here. As some shit happens off camera. Yeah, perfect. Ooh, not great. Okay, cool. That ends that. That ends that. That takes us to ye old assassins. Gord, go ahead and roll a d10 at the top of your turn for your fire damage, as this assassin is within that range. And this assassin...
8.
Perfect. He takes 8 points of fire damage. 8 from that is that. Yep. With both of you directly in his range here, you watch as he draws this short sword, and you can both, Hondo and Gord, you see it glisten with what looks like, as you would be very familiar, this like kind of oil slick poison as he goes for attack against each of you. First against Gord. That is an 18 to hit, Gord. Against AC.
That hits.
Okay. And against Hondo, that is only a 13 to hit. So I think that is a miss. So, against Gord, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Can I do Hellish Rebuke?
Yes, you can. So let's do that in a second, because that's a 5th level. Or are you doing it as a... Yeah, 5th level, right?
Yeah. I got 17 con save.
You succeed the con save for sure. Let me roll my damage, and then we'll go through your Hellish Rebuke action. So your first part of the short sword you take is 6 points of piercing damage. And you take 10 points of poison damage, 20 reduced to 10 as a result of the poison, but you are just so like enveloped in your magic, enveloped and imbued with strength and power of Orcus that it barely even registers to you. I do need you to make another Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration, however.
14.
Yep, you are good to go. Okay, so you, with your reaction, you cast Hellish Rebuke on this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a dex save on my side, I think, and then you roll damage, right?
Yep.
So dex save from this guy, that's a fail. Man, these guys are dexterous, but that is only a 15.
2d10.
Now, Gord, as part of being a warlock, when you cast a spell, it's upcast to 5th level as your slot. So imagine this spell is a 5th level Hellish Rebuke, so it should be an additional d10 per level. So I think that should pull up to like 6 or 7 d10.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you read it at the bottom of the spell, it should say when you cast it at blank level.
When you cast a spell using... Oh, fuck. Okay. So I roll 5. Fuck. 35?
Did you really 35?
Yeah.
He had 34 hit points. That's great. As he strikes out at you with this, you see he slashes across, and he cuts across your chest. You're just so confident, like not even trying to block. He slashes across, and you feel this faint kind of burn, kind of cut in through your clothing and beneath some bits of armor pieces that you wear. You feel the poison kind of slowly ebb away, and the fire that surrounds you just reach it out towards him, and it just envelops him like an angry maw opens wide and swallows him whole. And Hondo, right before you, you watch the fire just like leave Gord's body, envelop this figure, and he just screams in agony as he dies.
Hell yeah.
Very, very painfully. Gord, as a result of killing a creature as well, you do get those temporary HP business, so you can add some temp HP to yourself. As that guy is now dead.
God, this Herald of the Demon Lord Orcus Gord is real coming in clutch right now.
With that, this fella is going to go ahead and disappear down them stairs. As he goes, he's going to fire his crossbow at nobody, actually. I take that back. He runs down the stairs and away from sight. Takes us to Mary.
Okay, I'm gonna head for the stairs.
You got it.
Be careful. Remember the Wall of Force incident of July 2020.
You got 30 feet, and as you just look around, you feel eyes kind of peek out at you from the depth of the stairs, and a crossbow bolt fire back up as he held his action for the first person to show the face.
Great.
Yeah, that is a 24.
Yeah.
I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
19.
You are good. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and we'll say 10 points of poison damage reduced.
I'm getting whittled down, guys.
What are you at?
59 out of 137.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay. So do I see him now?
Oh, yeah. He
Where-
is outside of your range. Sorry, I forgot. I kind of pulled him off the battlefield. He is there.
Well, this is what bonus actions are for. Dash.
Just to get up to him.
Bonus action dash. Yeah. I am going to, as an attack, as one of my 3 attacks, just shove him down the stairs.
You got it. It's a contested strength or athletics versus acrobatics, or?
I don't know what a shove is. I thought it was just a contested
Sorry.
athletics.
I thought you were talking about the pushing
No.
attack you have.
No, literally just shove him down the stairs.
You got it.
As like
then-
an attack, just a push.
Yeah, I think it is a contested athletics.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do.
He's sneaky, so hopefully I'm better at this than him.
You would be correct.
Oh, I rolled a natural 19, so.
But you know
There you
what?
go.
I rolled a natural 19.
What?
No
But what do you add?
bonus. No,
I had 8.
I've got 0 bonus, but like that's kind of fun.
Good for him,
That's
though.
crazy.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He holds his own for a moment, but like you kick his legs out and shove him, and what you watch is he tumbles back and falls prone on this bottom stair. And as he does, he like tumbles, and he would tumble further, but you see him kind of connect against something. Something holds the the bottom of the stairs. There's a barrier of some kind there.
Fucking wall of forces. Can I see any? If I take another, I still have my dash action, right?
Yeah, you.
If I take another step,
you can get down to beside him.
can I see through whatever this thing is, or is it solid?
Yes. So as you get low, and you're not quite on the bottom step where this fella has just been thrown down to, but even from the step up and kind of crouching ever so lightly, you look down and you do see a kind of pale light illuminating the room below, even before you started progressing down. But with your focus on this figure before you, you didn't even recognize this light. And as you take those last few steps into the chamber, just shy of the chamber below, you can see a couple of new things to this room. Where the black shadow once covered the ceiling, you can now see a lone beam of light pierces through and parts the darkness. This moonlight casts an ethereal light across the room and its occupants, of which you see more than who you left in here before. Raymond Morales stands midway between this point of the stairs, where the moonlight touches the floor, and 10 feet from the stairs, and 10 feet back from the platform that stands against the far wall. Right about here. You notice as well the platform is also faintly aglow from beneath, akin to the arch in the far wall. You see Quinn, who is in the midst of a fight with one of the armored knight figures who you faced. Though you can see the knight's helm has been knocked free, and he stands kind of catching himself, swaying and dazed when he begins to kind of pull himself back up to his full fight, and right in front of the furious monk, who is just ready and bearing down on this fellow. But you do notice as well, Quinn seems to be locked in place. Seems to be a little frozen in his movement. And you see both of them. Hang on, I have a picture of where I wanted everyone to be. 2 seconds. They are. Beside Quinn, you can see a toppled figure, fallen, dead, seemingly one of the Whisperers. You see their mask cracked and fallen away, and you see a faint like pool of blood beginning to form around them, and they are dying or dead. And finally, you see one other Whisperer figure who is turning towards the stairs as you're making some commotion, and the figure before you just tumbles down in front. And slide this over slightly. And you can see, that there is somewhat of a secondary combat happening down below here.
Do we see Cook? Sorry, did you mention that?
Mary has no sign on Cook just yet.
Oh, no, I hope he's okay.
Mary, you do watch as you rush down and begin kind of taking in the space that Raymond tilts his head ever so slightly in your direction, not fully looking back towards you, as he just kind of returns to calmly inspecting the room, eyeing the archway structure, the moonlight that's hitting the floor, the ceiling, kind of stepping cautiously towards this doorway in the far wall. But the action is still yours.
Okay. Well, I mean, I already started using my action.
Yeah,
so I
used the attack action as part of the first attack as a shove.
Okay, well, fuck it. I have advantage on this guy now, so I'm just gonna hit him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, natural 15.
Mm-hmm.
I get sneak attack.
He's going to use his reaction to try and dodge part of it.
Okay, 8
Try and keep himself alive.
16 plus 13 is, yep.
Okay. He'll reduce
Technically,
that.
that's my second attack.
Yeah, he'll reduce that to 14, we'll say.
Okay. Third one?
Yep.
Wow, trash. A natural 1
Ooh.
and a 8, but I think the 8 still hits.
Yeah, you should still hit. AC 16 total is?
Yeah, my plus is 13, so.
Yeah.
Okay. $13 points of damage on that one.
He is still managing to hold on to consciousness. You definitely have him at the most disadvantages. And he is not long for this world, but he isn't going out without a fight.
Okay, I'm going... This is a very narrow staircase, right?
It is wide enough for single occupancy.
Okay, I have more movement left.
Yep.
Because I had to surge when I was like already in the room.
Yep.
So I'm just going to back out and go just north.
You can get 15 as your full move there.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just shout out, Raymond's down there, Quinn's in trouble. There's another see-through wall. I can't get through it. Someone else needs to find a way. That's it.
Perfect. That is enough you can get out in that round. That'll end Mary's turn. You hear another kind of round of combat being taken beyond upstairs and away. You're not sure exactly who's winning and who's losing, but a lot of people are getting hurt. Takes us to Alana.
Okay, so I'm going to, since there's no one around.
Okay, you guys have cleared this room. Mary calls out that there's a blockage down below. Keith also acts on your turn as well, I should say. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll get him near me, and then, I was gonna get to where Mary is. There's a blockage on the walls, like on the sides here, somewhere we don't know.
You're not exactly sure.
I just said there was like an invisible wall, like we've seen before.
Okay.
You saw Mary go down these stairs and then come back up, so at least you know you can get to that point.
Okay, I'll get there for now, and I'll just hold an attack.
You can get right beside there, or you can stand right in front if you wanted.
No, I'll stay there just in case.
Okay.
That way if someone comes running out or something, I can...
Keith can move an additional 10 now with you out of the way, so he's in the room waiting for you. And you're going to hold your hammer?
I'll hold my hammer, yeah.
You got it. Allie holds, takes us to Valentine.
So I'm back there. I'm just going to rush forward towards that door.
You can use your action to dash.
How far would just normal get me? There?
Right there.
And then it's probably too dark to see that guy in there, right?
You don't have a direct line of sight on him because he's down like 15, 20 feet of stairs.
Then I will, I'll probably rush to the right side of Brawley. If my rights work with you. Yes, please.
Just a whole that side?
Yeah, and then I'll just like I'll probably just like peek in there if I could have as I ran by.
Absolutely, yeah. As you came into the room, kind of running between Mary and Allie, and just quickly look down, you do see this crumpled figure at the bottom of the stairs, bleeding and beginning to kind of pull himself up to standing. You don't see anything else, as I described previously, just as only Mary currently has seen the rest of the room, but she did call out the wall, and you hold yourself in this corner.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Should we try and break it down or teleport through it or wait for those assholes outside? That's what I'll say.
Okay. With the offer of trying to figure out a plan put forth to Allie and Mary, we take us to Hondo and Gore. What are you guys doing?
Okay.
The two of you you don't see anybody in the room. You see Lavender making her way in, you see Keith, and you see the rest of your party having run in here, and you both hear the shouts of a blockage, and we need to get through, and that's kind of all you know. And Raymond is below, and Quinn's in danger.
I guess I might as well follow everyone into the room.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 puts you right in the doorway.
Do I see anything? Like,
right from this point, you just see your three friends kind of holding off the side of the kind of the stairway that leads down from beneath the sarcophagus. that is kind of pushed up and away and kind of spun out of the way entirely. You see the stairwell. You don't see the guy at the bottom of the stairs from there just yet. You'd have to go like literally 1 or 2 squares forward, and you could see him at the bottom of the stairs. Thus far, you don't really see anything.
Could I use my bonus to get closer, I guess?
Yeah, you could dash and get all the way down to where that guy is.
Okay.
Yep, Hondo just dashes past the 3 of you. Taking a quick stock of the room, rushes down in. You are now over top of this guy. If you want to try and kill this guy, you have advantage on the hit.
I mean, this guy is just in my way. He's being all gross. And I just I'll take a whisper and
Okay. You make your attack roll straight roll. You're not at disadvantage, but you have advantage, so straight roll. As you do, you also look into the room and see that'll definitely kill this guy. Don't even bother rolling damage. He's dead. As you manage to bring Whisper down and strike true, he was trying to claw himself back up, but you have easily snuffed his life. And you look out into the room as you've ducked low. You do see Raymond. You see Quinn kind of frozen in place, and another knight kind of Eldrazi shaking his head and rearing back for an attack. And one other caster, Whisperer figure of the Eldrazi in the corner of the room. But unfortunately, it seems as you stab down, the blood splatter off of this poor figure shows you that there is indeed a physical barrier directly here. So that's your action, your bonus action, and you have 15 feet of movement technically.
I'm not sure if I want to go all the way in right now. So maybe I'll stay there. I'll turn around and be like, "Dude, there's a barrier in there. Beware." Yep. I'll tell everyone behind me.
You got it. Hondo shuts back. Barrier. That'll end your turn. And Gord, we're back to you.
I'm gonna go over top of the assassin's body and cast Animate Dead.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm gonna turn him into a skeleton.
As Gord, you reach down low and kind of tilt up the charred form of this Eldrazi assassin. You can see the skin is still kind of faintly burning away. And as you tilt up the head with your burning hand and cast the spell, the fire again just kind of cascades off of you and just singes and melts away the skin and sinew, leaving only the skeleton behind, who then stands kind of shakily under your control.
And I'm just going to say, "Follow me."
You got it.
And then I'm just going to go where everyone else.
I love it. It's been so long since we've had a little zombie or skeleton friend.
Yeah, I need a better... I've got an undead figure here.
Sorry, Gord, what did you say he is? Is he a zombie or a skeleton?
Skeleton.
Oh, love it.
You've got a
Cook?
undead skelly there.
Cook 2.
Cook 2.0. That's your action and movement. If you want to use anything with a bonus, you currently don't really have anything off the top of mind, but if you can think of anything, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
You got it. That ends your turn. Lavender, you watch Gord like kind of step down, and you just see this kind of fire leave him, and he stands back up, issues a kind of scary command, and this skeleton kind of begins to follow in pursuit of him, as you also watch everyone else kind of rush into this mausoleum. What are you doing?
Oh my god, that's Cook. Oh, that's not Cook. Who the hell is that guy? Can Gord have a baby? A skeleton baby? And then I'm just like, oh shit, I gotta do something. And so then I run over to you guys as fast as I can.
You'd have to use your action to dash to get with everybody else.
Okay. And then I will... Where's the baddie that's closest to me?
There's currently
no more baddies.
none on the field.
Can I hold the firebolt?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cast a firebolt and just hold it and then look back behind me and be like, oh, because I'm scared that Yuggoth guy is gonna come through.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to kind of rush and get past Gord, but keeping an eye back behind him. You can be in the room with everybody else. But unfortunately,
Can I change my mind?
What do you want to do?
I go like this. I start to cast and go, and then I actually cast healing.
If you touch, it's more.
Am I close to Mary?
Sorry, I forgot. You have to use your action to dash to get there. So you don't have an action to cast that. You could use your action to dash and then still use your bonus action to use Healing Word.
Bonus action, Healing Word.
Which level?
Second level.
2d4 plus 5 for Mary.
2d4 plus 5. You can do it. Heal your friend.
Pretty good.
Ooh, 10!
Nice. Thank you.
All right.
What do you say to Mary?
I say... What do I normally talk to Mary about? I don't know. I usually just say something and she says, okay. I say to Mary, I'm like, you're going to need your strength. I saw that guy back there. He is huge. And I assume he smells really bad.
That would be true.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He's on fire, so he probably just smells like he's on fire, which is gross.
Maybe
Like
clean him up.
burning.
But he's like undead skin burning.
Oh, that's not a good smell.
Ew. And then I look at Gordon and I'm like, who's this guy?
That'll be the end of your turn.
'Kay.
At this point,
Uh-oh.
Hondo is currently the only one who sees this, as he's the only one in the stairwell looking through the wall of force. It looks like Quinn is kind of frozen in place, and Hondo, you watch. Hondo's not even here. Through Hondo, you guys watch as the knight just begins to carve into into Quinn with his blades.
Into Quinn?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Quinn is. Let me pull up.
That's
Not
good.
happy.
That's bad. That's very bad, guys.
That's
Not
not good.
super good.
We need Quinn, right?
We did.
Shit.
Where's Selene?
Yo, Celine, were you
They-
that girl?
They absolutely broke that promise to her.
That's true.
Immediately. They broke it immediately.
Ugh,
Yep.
Celine.
Sure do. All right, let's see here. Okay.
You just can't trust people from hell. It's what I've learned.
So first is a hit. I will remind
Go
those
hell.
of you. Quinn is currently paralyzed.
Yeah, so that, what is that, crit?
So advantage against and crit on each hit.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going down.
This could be a short fight. For
No,
Quinn.
I rolled a 1. That's ass damage.
You're the one? Yeah. There is hope.
The
So
Wildcards have a
not-
bad history with watching someone get murdered through a wall of force.
Yeah, true.
Oh, that's much better.
Not a
Okay.
fun time.
There we go. That's better.
Fuck.
Uh,
Come on, Q.
that's, and one more.
Not about
Who's
it.
at the door? Is Tondo just banging on the wall?
Hondo's just watching as
No!
he gets cut the fuck up.
I'm a cut.
Look, Hondo couldn't even take it. He had to leave. He was so emotionally distraught.
Yeah. Quinn is still standing, but
Boy, Quinn.
Quinn
Way to
is
go.
while frozen and paralyzed in place. You can just see, like, with free reign, this guy, like a surgeon, is carving into incredibly painful, and you see blood just pouring down through obvious arteries that are being slashed at.
Nope.
Quinn's robes and his vestments are rapidly being bloodied. That is his turn. You watch Raymond step closer and closer to this.
Quinn has had the worst couple of days.
It's been a rough go for poor Quinn.
Poor guy.
Let's see.
Quinn's a lost soul.
Let alone his sister abandoning him and
Disintegrate
betraying him.
Quinn.
Kill Quinn before he dies.
Yeah. I want to do it.
Stark.
You hear Raymond's voice as he kind of looks back, and he connects eyes with Hondo as you're there, Hondo, through the wall of force. It is invisible, but you know it is currently there as a result of, like, this blood splatter that's kind of leaking down it. You watch Raymond kind of look back in your direction and just say, "Your time is slipping away from you, Master Raymond. By the minute he approaches, judgment and order beckons us all to the paradise of the 10th. Only minutes now. He looks at the other two in the room and says, "Finish him, and let's away. I have what I need." That will end his turn. Take us to Quinn.
Come on, Quinn, let's break this.
Quinn might be able to break free at the end of his turn. At the end of his turn, at the end of each of your turns, you can make another save. Let's go to Quinn's stuff. Hey, look at you go. Where was that before, you dick? Quinn saves and is no longer paralyzed, but that is the end of his turn, unfortunately. And that takes us to but Mary. You hear faintly the words of Raymond echoing up from beneath. But
Okay, well, I can't do anything because I already used my dimension door. I literally got nothing. I'll hold an attack in case someone can get me there, but I don't even know. I can't even stand anywhere where someone could do that because you have to see, right?
Yep.
Fuck. That's all I got, guys.
Maybe hold an attack from behind? I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, I can't move, right? And when this is such a small room.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking through my shit again, but I don't really think I have anything. I'll bonus action second wind.
Great idea.
Start there.
Use that.
Oh, good. I rolled an 8. That's pretty good. Plus my fighter level, so that's 19 points of healing. I'm up in the 80s again, which is nice. Yeah, I'll just take a second and take a deep breath and try to steady myself. Get some adrenaline back in my body. Can I just use... Oh, fuck. Yeah, I mean, I'll hold an attack in case something I happen to be in range of something I can hit.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna say, like, if you get within range of something, I would say you are at disadvantage at least on the first strike.
Yeah.
As a result of, like, coming in almost blind, essentially, and then using your reaction to attack. After that, I would probably be okay with your other 2 attacks, but your first is at least at disadvantage.
That's fine. I don't have anything else, and I'm not going to bother moving. There's nowhere really to go, right?
I mean,
because Gord's blocking the door.
You can squeeze by, like you
yeah,
can squeeze
but
past allies, but
I don't really. I'd rather be in the middle of things. I'm good where I am.
Okay, that takes us to Allie.
I'll just kind of stand there where I am because I don't want to block the way, but also just say, what do we do, guys?
Big hands up. No one's
big hands up. Sure. No one's sure. And I'll just, like I said, I'm still kind of like holding my attack just in case.
The fighter's ready and attack. I would say the same thing to you then, Allie. So like, if something happens where you get pulled in and if you guys were to teleport, or something happens where you have a strike but you're not sure what against, first one will be at disadvantage. After that, straight rolls.
If we were, in theory, to teleport, if I was let's say if I was on top of Keith, would he come with me or no?
Depending on the type of teleport, Dimension Door would be only a single target. If you were to use like a teleport, it would be everybody. I think the only thing at your guys' disposal currently would be a Dimension Door, and it's only a single target.
Okay, that's cool then. I'll wait.
I'll say Keith would make his way up to the side,
Okay.
but as of now, he is too big to get into the room with the rest of you, so he is going to hold
Yeah,
there.
that's fine.
So you hold your attack there as we go to Valentine. You hear that Quinn is on the other side. Raymond seems to has what he wants. What are you doing?
I will go to Mary and just like hold her hand and cast level 2 Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Mm, 6 and a 1 is 7 plus 5 is 12. Scott, pull it together.
Had a nice clean 100, which makes me happy.
Okay, that's good. And then be like, no bonus action. I think I'll just move back. I'll move to Mary's side and like give her hand another squeeze and be like, I don't know if we can save him. And that's it. And then I'll glance back at that door where Egoth was coming from.
You glance back, and unfortunately, you see mostly Gord, who's kind of standing there. But past him, you don't see anything thus far. You don't hear anything, but you guys are pretty deep into these catacombs for your passive to kind of pick anything up. But that is going to end your turn and take us to Hondo.
So, just to be clear, no one's in the room yet from our side. They're all behind me.
That's correct.
None of us can really get in there.
Why?
Now with burning some valuable resources.
Like, you have a teleport, but you have to throw Whisper, right? And you can't throw it through that, so...
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
I couldn't throw it through it, right?
You're not entirely sure. You don't know enough to really... You could gamble on it, but you're not sure. It seems like there is a physical barrier.
The problem is...
He has done this to us before. Like, this is the exact same thing he did with Alana.
It's
Also,
a good move.
The problem is if it does work, I'll be trapped in there with no one else.
Also that.
We have to find a way to do some damage to Raymond to potentially... I don't know if it's concentration or not.
I'm going to look behind and be like, can anyone tunnel under this thing?
Nobody seems to respond. Nobody seems to give you any answers.
Fuck.
I don't think anyone has stone shape.
I just don't want to respond like out of turn either.
Yeah.
I would say like I'm okay with a single response around. Does that make sense? So if
Totally, yeah.
If you answer one person, you cannot answer another person. So in theory, you could respond. However, Hondo, as you're taking your time trying to just mull over the situation, you're looking through this, wanting to stab Raymond in his stupid old face. You watch as Raymond kind of turns fully to face you, and his whole form just kind of fades, and he disappears.
Oh. That's not good. I'm going to check, is the barrier gone now?
Great idea.
You put your hand forth, you still feel a physical force there.
Okay. I'm just going to try Whisper.
Do it.
He's gone. It's not as scary.
Absolutely. You step back, you throw Whisper, and make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh gosh, is it going to bounce back and hit me?
Yeah, it is. It comes back and it nicks you for 4 points of damage. As you try and catch it, it just kind of cuts through your hand. You do manage to catch it, but you catch it by the blade, and you sustain a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, it does seem a physical barrier here is kind of blocking your passage. As you hit it, it kind of and like bounces back, and kind of ripple effect of some kind of energy field.
Okay, I look back. I'll be like, it didn't work. Also, Raymond's gone, and you better watch it. He might be invisible and trying to attack us from behind. You never know. But yeah, I'm out of ideas.
That's great. That was a good note. Honestly, it was helpful.
Okay. I think that ends Hondo's turn.
Yep.
Gord, You hear the messages of your team. You're not sure what is happening down in that room. You haven't had visual directly, but you have your turn if you want to do something.
Yeah, can I just do like a perception check to see like what's going on?
Do you want to go like a perception check down in the room below, like get up behind Hondo, or a perception check behind to see if anything's coming up behind you?
Down to like what's blocking us from like getting in the room.
You got it. You make your way below. We'll put you here beside Hondo. I would say, Hondo, you could stand over top of this dead guy. Put you a little closer. Quickly, with your passive perception, Gord, you can see that... What is your passive perception, actually, as a first start?
19?
Yeah. With that, like, Hondo, everyone has kind of explained there is some kind of barrier here. You have seen a wall of force before. It is very similar to like the other wall spells you guys have used and own in your own kits. However, this one has the added benefit of stopping physical travel through. And it seems to be just placed just in front of the doorway here. Unfortunately, if you want to go ahead and make a perception check, see if you can spot anything more, you just see the figures in the room as you see them on the map as of now. But if you want to make a perception
check. 29!
Okay. You look and you can see that what looks like the figure on the far right is beginning the cast of a spell. And it looks relatively familiar to something your own party has utilized. If you want to make an Arcana check as well.
Let's do it. 20?
Okay. You see no sign of Raymond whatsoever, and you didn't see the cast of the spell as he disappeared. But you watch as this figure in the bottom right here, they begin to cast what looks like a dimension door. They're holding the action of a dimension door spell as you watch Quinn kind of shake free of this hold person, the knight holding himself back. It seems like they're about to go to blows, the two of the knight and Quinn. And Quinn looks like he is definitely hurting. But it seems like the Whisperer is waiting for the knight to either win this battle or die trying before they dimension door out. Unfortunately, you see no way to get through without eliminating this wall first. I would say that's your action and some of your movement, but there's not much further to go. I believe that's the end of your turn.
I don't really know what else to do.
Yeah, it would seem like that'll end your turn as you hold, unless you want to move back out of the stairwell.
Yeah.
The only thing I would suggest is let's not cram that in case anyone else wants to do anything.
Yeah, with your move, you can get back and clear the path.
Yeah, that's cool.
That'll end your turn. Lavender, it is your turn. Thus far, it seems like no one has been able to clear the path of the doorway. You can see Hondo still at the base of the stairs from where you're standing, but you don't see anything beyond that. Are you doing anything?
I don't know whether to use Disintegrate to take that wall down or, like, it's their turn right after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I don't know what to do. Or just to, like, have a firebolt ready when Egoth comes in. Ah! Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use Disintegrate. Who cares? Why not?
Ooh,
I'm gonna use it on that wall.
Okay, all right. As you step up, I'm fucking up my stairs now. As you step up, you look past Hondo, just skating past his head as he kind of scooches to the side. You release Disintegrate. I need you to make a wild magic search for me.
Okay.
Roll a d20.
15.
You're good?
Yeah.
You feel this, like, buzzing, whirring energy formulate in the palm of your hand. It is the most chaotic, the most powerful energy you've ever tried to control, and it is fighting you every step of the way. As you raise your hand aloft, shaking, and you fire it forth, and like faster than the bullets you've seen Gambino fire, it strikes into this wall, and directly before you, Hondo, you just watch it splinters, it shatters, and turns to sparkling dust. It seems to fall away immediately. Hondo, you kind of put your hand out. The wall is no longer there.
Oh shit!
Brawley, did you see that?
It's such a great job. That was awesome.
I've never done that before.
And then I will just kind of like sheepishly step to the side. Be like, holy shit.
Move back around beside Brawley and keep out of the line of the room. And that's your action and movements. If you have anything for a bonus or you want to use anything, now's the time.
Nope.
You're
I
good.
think I've done enough.
That ends your turn and takes us to Whisper and Knight. The Knight is going to try and finish Quinn off. First strike is a miss. Second strike is a miss. Third strike does hit. Not for a lot. Hondo is the only one who is there. You watch as this knight is just barraging Quinn with like swirling sword attacks, like trying with all his might to end Quinn's life, and just palm parrying the blade once, twice. A third time he does get nicked across the midsection. He seems to be now, with his full faculties, holding his own pretty well. A final bonus action strike.
I can't react, can I?
I don't believe you have any reaction in this moment, but you technically do have a reaction if you have something. I just don't think you have anything that's going to affect this.
I think you have something, Kev, but I think you have to be within 5 feet. If there's an enemy who's within 5 feet of you and they hit someone else, you can use your reaction to like retaliate, but I don't think it works at distance. That's part of
Sentinel, is that?
Yeah, it's part of Sentinel.
You watch as he makes this final strike, 4 full attacks against Quinn. He manages to parry the first 2, and get struck with the last 2, and he kind of drops down to one knee. And you can see him kind of bleeding out, but he is alive. Quinn, with a reaction, just strikes out at this guy as he turns to leave.
Come on, Quinn.
That's not going to hit. Strikes out, but has been dropped low and is bleeding out profusely, misses, and the knight reaches the Whisperer, and Hondo, you watch just as just like a faint kind of purple circle envelops the two, and they disappear in a cloud of magic.
That's good.
That ends their turn. For the time being, you have no enemy combatants on the field. And over a short time, the last round, you haven't heard any combat coming down the stairs. You haven't heard any growing sounds of warfare from beyond thus far. The fighting doesn't seem to be following you down the steps just yet. So for the time, I'm going to pull us out of initiative.
Oh shit.
We can return to regular base.
I'll take a long rest.
You can try.
I'm gonna rush down the steps.
Okay. Very quickly, now with the wall out of the way, you jump over past Hondo, and Hondo kind of steps into the room. You jump over the dead body, and you do in fact see one dead Whisperer in the room, and Quinn kneeling beside them, breathing heavily. And you can just see blood kind of pooling around him. His vestments just like soaked.
I'll rush up to him and cast a Cure Wounds on him.
You see immediately, like he begins to kind of back up and then recognizes you.
It's me.
And he just kind of topples back over onto his butt and just kind of falls over onto his side as you reach down and kind of begin casting.
Max HP, so 8 plus 5, 13.
Okay. Slowly but surely getting some health back.
I also cast a first level Cure Wounds.
Okay.
On myself?
On myself. I only rolled a 2, so 7.
Okay.
Is that on Quinn?
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's on Quinn.
Great.
You pull him back up a fair amount, and you you don't see as a result of the vestments kind of covering these wounds, but you see the blood stop kind of flowing so heavily, and it seems that you have kind of stopped the worst of these wounds. And he begins to kind of breathe a little slower, catching his breath.
My God, man. You all right?
I am all right, yes. Thank you for this coming to my aid. They really came in hard and fast. Kind of caught me by surprise, I'll be honest.
Well, you're one tough son of a bitch. I can't believe watching through that wall of force up there where you were trapped. We were trying to get to you.
I tried my best anyways, and truthfully, I don't blame Cook for taking off when he did.
Oh, he took off? I wondered what happened to him, if he was okay.
I don't know necessarily exactly, but he saw Raymond and he kind of popped away.
Well, the hope was at least that he would tell Gambino's crew to come aid us. There was more guys on the stairs rushing down this way, but hopefully Gambino's forces have been alerted to take care of them.
I hope so. I don't know if I'm up to another full fight like that. Just not yet.
Could I glance at the archway? You mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if I got a good look. How does that look now?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
I wish Mary was here for that. 15.
Yeah, you can notice that the archway is the archway itself isn't exactly different, but the room as a whole is lit with this kind of pale light. You can see, like, now looking up into the ceiling, what almost looks like a night skyscape is kind of formed of this shadow ethereal kind of material almost. You see like a circular full moon forming in the ceiling, and it's casting this kind of beam down onto the ground, and it's about midway into the room at this point, maybe 10, 15 feet to the east of the stairs, at the bottom of the stairs. And it's just casting this beam down. You can see the platform is faintly kind of glowing from beneath, like the archway, almost in unison. They have this faint kind of slow pulse. The archway itself doesn't look vastly different just yet, but the rest of it is what's giving this new perspective.
How much time do you think we got, guys? I could, now that my Feywild abilities are back, I could ask Aetherius if he knows. I could lean on his knowledge and see if he knows about this ritual, if there's any way to break it forever. But I would need some time to commune with him and the Summer Queen. You guys think we have 10 minutes here? I don't know if you want to peek back up that stairs and let me know.
I think we need to get our bearings. We all need to just take a second. I'm not sure if I missed this when I went to the bathroom. Did Quinn say anything, or did anyone ask about what Raymond was doing or looking at?
No, great question.
Then I will ask that.
As I'll say at this point, like, all of you kind of make your way into this lower room, this lowest chamber, unless you don't want to, then you can say that. But as you are all coming down to check on Quinn and see the status of everything, you ask Quinn, he just kind of says, admittedly, I was a little caught unaware. Not my proudest moment, I admit. I was caught in prayer, but they definitely got the jump on me. I was focused on those who were trying to end my life. I didn't get a great look at what this wizard figure was doing. He just seemed to be looking. He didn't interact, he didn't touch anything. He did cast some magic of some kind. It just seemed to be looking, watching.
This is all on us. We should have been there to stop them from even getting down here.
You did. I'm still here, and they're not. You succeeded in what you tried.
I'm going to go take a look at I'll probably, if I have time, eventually do this for all of the Eldrazi bodies. Mm-hmm. But just out of habit, just turn them over, look for anything look, all the places I normally know to look on Eldrazi people. I'm not expecting to find anything. It's more out of habit to keep busy.
Make an investigation check. Anyways.
I think I'll just take the risk and use legend lore here.
Sure.
I will go to that, like, the growing pool of moonlight and take out Aetherius and just kind of like hold it by the hilt and the blade and just start communing with him, trying to get this spell cast.
Yeah, as you sit down within the moonlight itself, it like glimmers across this kind of almost pearlescent like reaction to the moonlight on the blade, and along the hilt, this like fine, almost silver like wrap around the handle, almost like musical notes just like swirling around, and almost just like follows with the light. And as you close your eyes and begin the somewhat of a commune with the persona, with the soul within the blade of Aetherius, it does take 10 minutes to cast. So you begin that process. Can you read out the full legend lore and specifically what it is you are
asking?
Name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or secret lore that has never been widely known. The thing you named, if the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. The information you learn is accurate, but might be couched in figurative language. For example, if you have a mysterious magic axe on hand, the spell might yield its information. Woe to the evildoer whose hand touches the axe, for even the haft slices the hand of the evil ones. Only a true child of stone, lover, and... Okay, that's just there's a long story about that.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
It's an example for a DM.
Name or describe a person, place, or object. So I think I will ask about the Keeper's Scythe. I was hoping it would be like the ritual itself, but I don't know if that's counted as like an object.
What are the three? A person, place, or thing, essentially, like a noun?
It says name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. And then the more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is.
So makes sense. Like
here's what I'll tell you is the difference by your understanding of the magic and your understanding of the scenario. Asking for the scythe will give you information about the purpose of like the wards against it, its origins, what could happen should someone should someone else wield it. Asking about this temple will give you more of its purpose and its wards, and that would involve this ritual of protection.
I'm going to do that then.
It's okay. So you're going for it both give you valuable information, but each it's different in what you're trying to get out of this. And in your time here, in your knowledge of like what you've learned thus far, you actually will get a better response from that because you know more about that than you do about the actual scythe itself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So you sit down in this pool of moonlight and begin 10 minutes of, there's no immediate response as you go through the, like, it's almost like a faint song, this kind of humming song, as Valentine begins the cast of Legend Lore. But there's 10 minutes in that time where other things can happen, and
bad shit can happen.
Who knows? As the rest of you, is there anything else you guys want to do? Mary, you rolling investigation to search these bodies.
Yeah, I rolled a 25.
You find nothing out of the ordinary. Each bears a brand or tattoo in various, some are branded, some are literally branded, and some are actual tattoos of the Titan makers, the Eldrazi. Nothing of surprise there. However, all also bear a the symbol of the nine hells. You see the three triangles symbol of the nine hells. They all seem to be around the wrist or on arms. You're not sure if there's any significance there or just convenience. The rest of the Eldrazi Titan Maker tattoos seem to be in various places. Some on the back of the neck, some right over the heart, but most are all of the Revenant Vow / Nine Hells are on the arm or wrist.
I'd probably hesitate and then, again out of habit, just check if I recognize anyone. Not that I knew anyone specifically, but that's just a bit of a morbid, like, shit, have I seen this guy before? Like,
over the time it takes you to go through at each one, you kind of pull down a mask or kind of shift across. None of them seem familiar. None of them seem particularly familiar to you in your time. You notice some of them are younger and therefore likely wouldn't have been there in the time that you were there. But none of them seem particularly familiar to you.
okay, but it seems like potentially newer recruits.
Potentially some of them anyway.
I mean, a lot of them are elven, so it's like impossible to tell anyway. But
there's definitely part of that. There definitely seem to be some signs of newer recruits, even in some of the branding.
Like fresher tattoos or fresher branding.
Some of it seems a little bit fresher, not like days, weeks, still like
years.
Still years, or maybe several months, maybe a year. It takes a lot of time to get to this level, as you well know. But yeah, you get those insights. But yeah, nothing totally out of the ordinary for what you would expect. Is there anything else any of you guys want to do in 10 minutes while Valentine is going through this cast?
Alana and Keith, you might be good for door duty watch. Someone should probably take a look, just peek their head out top to see what the fuck's going on.
We can do that.
All right. Allie, give me a perception check if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Not great. I don't know why I'm bothering. 6.
It's difficult to tell from your perspective. You don't have any good visual on anything, and you base a lot of your physical and fighting prowess on being able to see your combatants. And without that visual component, you just hear a bunch of muddy kind of sound, and it's just kind of, there's stuff. You're not sure how far away it is, but it's not directly on top of you, so that's good. It does sound, though, even with a 6, over the next couple of minutes, the sounds of battle seem to die away and return to like the constant sound of faint battle that is all pervasive in the war that's kind of all encompassing with the undead and the vow and the warforged. It seems, at least for the next couple of minutes, there's nothing directly outside the door. Whatever Egoth was doing seems to have finished, or he's dead. You're not sure.
Huh. Okay. I will then relay that back to everyone and just kind of say, I don't want to jinx it, but it sounded a little bit more. I mean, yay! But it's really quiet outside. Don't know whether that's a good thing or if anyone retreated.
I don't know if this is a weird. Sorry, Allie.
No, that's it.
I don't know if this is a weird question. Do we know what time it is? Like,
you guys would have a pretty good idea, even like out of game, like going from game to game. Hard to keep track of, but like this whole encounter is time sensitive. You guys would have a pretty you would try your best to keep on top of the time. And not too long ago did the sun set, so you guys would have a rough estimate of it being close to like 7.
Okay, great. Not close to midnight. Okay.
You guys still have a couple of hours ahead of midnight.
Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not quite there yet. It's like 7:30. Like that's where it gets a little muddy, is how close it is to the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when combat kind of throws off your tracking
awareness. Yeah.
So, by the time you get through this cast, you're in the middle of 7 and 8. But I would say nothing comes down your way. And unless there's anything else you guys want to go through, the Legend Lore cast does complete. As you, Valentine, are basically blind and deaf to the rest of what's happening, to the rest of the world, to the encounter beyond, to your friends and foes, you kind of drop into this like calm oasis. It is a wide expanse, like a valley. You just feel and open your eyes to see just lush, tall green grass, just blowing in a faint breeze. It's blue sky above, clouds. You feel warmth, all encompassing, and all kind of danger and fear just kind of slips away. And as you look down, you see your sword before you. And it's a sword, and within the blade, almost, you can see like light kind of shifting and moving across it, though there's no source. It's just kind of shifting and moving as if reacting to something. And the light kind of comes off of the blade, like this faint kind of orb. You feel no fear at all. It is entirely peaceful. And it just kind of enters your mind and takes you away from this oasis into the temple that you're in now, but not current, not today. You see the temple almost in its construction, and you hear the voice from within Aetherius kind of dictating and explaining to you that this temple and this entire city, the city of Casterion, was, as you already previously know, but as a refresher, was a people who were devoted to the Raven Queen. They were a primarily elven society who worshipped the Raven Queen almost so powerfully that they were elevated into her space, into her knowledge. She became aware of them. And as part of this, the Raven Queen herself almost issued to the people of this city to call forth a champion, to choose from within them the most powerful, most devout from amongst them. And as you have known through your experiences here, it has come to be what you know as the Angel of Death. This woman, this elf of the city. However, through Asmodeus' corruption with the Keeper's Scythe, she became corrupted, she fell and failed, and as a result, this city was punished for their collective failure, a failure of faith as they selected poorly. They chose this person to be the champion for the Raven Queen, and she failed, the Raven Queen, and as a result, this entire people and this city would pay penance. This temple was constructed before this happened as a temple, as just a place of worship and a place of internment for their dead. But it was ultimately turned and transformed into a place of ritual and a place of protection, a place where every month at the full moon, the angel, and you see the kind of visual form of this feminine form familiar to you, this robed figure who has been in several conversations with you specifically, Valentine. This figure who you have bartered with, who you have dealt with in moments of dire need and resurrection. The Angel of Death. But you see the room that you're in, and you see the kind of, these people are like placing these wards, and you can see the magic kind of beginning to cascade around the entire space. You see the platform, you see the archway, and then it all kind of flashes away, and there's emptiness for a moment. And you see the room begin to kind of build itself out of shadow once more. And it's the same room again, however, slightly different. In the middle of the room on the far side, away from you, you see this octagonal platform. And atop it, you see a stone slab. Behind it, across the entire wall, the same 45 foot space, is a massive, like, onyx sculpture, the statue of this raven figure. You see just a massive, immense raven. And from each tip of its wings, you see these ethereal chains that wrap around and hold still this frail, tattered robed figure, this angel. And she's not the angel that you've seen. She is tormented. She's pained and held in place. Before her, the scythe kind of sat almost in judgment of her. And you feel this kind of cold at your back, and you turn, and the wall that you're standing on, you see an archway. But through the archway and through the entire wall, you see this splinter, this shattered wall. And it's like looking into kind of a frosted mirror or frosted glass. And you see the room, and you see yourself sitting in that room. You see the moonbeam on you. You see your friends. You see Quinn. And you watch this kind of ghostly figure pass through and stand on the platform. And this kind of shifting veil overcomes them. You see this kind of shift of shadow about the room, and they drift through the archway directly through you and towards the stone slab in the middle of the room that you're in. And you watch as these two mirror rooms, separated by this singular shattered wall of mirror and archway. And you watch this figure kind of step up onto the slab. And you see on the opposite side of the slab, the scythe rise on its own and shadow coalesce, and a hooded figure now holds it. And you see them collide in battle before the whole scene disappears before you. Once more in the seated, cross-legged position, holding Aetherius in the oasis of Valley Sun. Aetherius kind of comes to you and says, "The challenges are simple. Their knowledge, their wisdom, and their strength, and their heart. You know how far you've come. The next is a challenge of strength for whoever goes on. But beyond that is the challenge of wills. Can they leave this life for the betterment of all? Someone must pay that price. It seems no way around it." And in a moment, you're back in the room.
Yikes.
You also notice, before you continue, where you're sitting, your eyes open, you recognize the stone immediately. You're still Aetherius across your lap. The moon, the light, where you're sat perfectly in it, it's kind of shifted across you. It does seem to be moving.
Is it moving towards that archway?
Moving towards the archway and the platform.
If I look behind me, kind of want to look behind me towards where that like other octagon was, where like the raven thing was holding that person. Is there anything in that room like that right now? No.
You look at the archway wall, and you can picture it directly on the other side, but it's just stone.
Probably just like get up, sheath Aetherius, kind of pass on my thanks, and just like run my hand along the wall and think for a moment, and then I'll relay everything you just told me to the group in exquisite detail.
Word for word.
4 hours pass.
Someone has to go through. I think only one of us. I'm not sure. But someone has to go through. It seems like strength is a fight against Sirius, the angel of death. And then it's a test of heart, of will, to make the willing choice to leave this plane to complete the ritual. Kind of look at Quinn and the rest of the group.
He meets your eye, just nods. I'm ready.
Are you ready to fight, though? Do you need more healing?
Thankfully, I think I have time before I need to do so.
Okay.
if we are able to rest a little longer, I'll be back up to full strength.
We could take some shifts here too, just to make sure I'm doing okay, so I can take another watch and we can just kind of hold and secure this room.
We need to get an idea of what's happening up top. Try to get in touch with our pirate allies.
Well, it's still just us. Sorry to interrupt. And they're not around. What's our play here? Quinn, when you've done this before, when your ritual is complete through the sacrifice, I know you don't know much, but the scythe doesn't linger after that, correct? You've never seen it after the ritual?
Never seen it at all. I've never been into this room until with you.
So maybe let's not reveal what we've just spoken about here. And then if anyone has to go through that archway when the moon hits it, it's Quinn.
I'll be ready. However, I fear that they're not stupid.
Yeah, I know.
I'll do my best to hide my intent. But I just fear falling into another fight before I need to do what I need to do.
And we'll try and prevent that. I think we got the sillies out of us earlier this morning. Look over at Hondo. I mean, yeah, I wasn't sure. I just saw one person move through. I don't know if multiple people can go into this room for the next fight. We'll just have to wait and see. But if that's true, we'll be there to help.
I appreciate it.
We've seen Sirius before. From my vision, she's the one who's visited us and gave us the cards to choose from. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I can honestly say that is somewhat surprising and potentially a good sign to me. She's kept you here. Maybe she'll be appreciative of us trying to keep her safe.
Feel like we're all here for a reason. Lav, if we hadn't have met you, we wouldn't have never been able to get through that wall. We have never.
Thank you, somebody finally acknowledging that I took down that wall.
I wasn't
like
done.
Jesus, that's the biggest thing I've ever done.
Wasn't done my speech yet. Just want to wait.
Go on about me, please.
We're lucky that you joined the Wildcards. And then, I mean, I kept you alive. Brawley kept you alive. A lot of help to keep you to this point. But we're all here for a reason. We were brought together by a dream months ago. So let's see this through.
Let's see this through.
Whatever it takes, Hondo.
Always.
Gord, you're still on fire, aren't you?
I think by this time, 10 minutes have passed. I think Investiture of Flame has to end.
Is the zombie still around?
Oh yeah, that guy lasts a while.
Oh yeah.
Gord, Hondo, I can't wait. I want us to beat this thing so I can see you go up against this Gambino guy. For real this time.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. Yeah.
Can we not talk about that tonight at all? Not even put that out in the world?
It's hopeful aspirations.
Don't give this one any ideas. Mary, I think that's a good idea. Maybe we should go see what the situation is.
Quinn kind of steps up and just says, I kind of want to keep relatively close at this point to you, if that's all right.
Yep.
But I would really appreciate the time to rest. Perhaps we go up and see what we're looking at and then
come right back.
Either down here or at least in the temple and see if we can hold up for an hour.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
That's all the time I need.
Okay. Let's go up together.
Okay. You guys begin to make your way collectively back up through the catacombs and with this skeletal figure in tow, keeping pace with you. You're not sprinting your way through anywhere, but this kind of creepy skeleton is just kind of standing awkwardly, just.
What should we name this guy?
Gord, it's your pet. What do you want to name it?
Bonesy.
Bonesy.
It's a good name.
Accurate at the very least.
Bonesy is.
You guys make your way up to the main level, through the temple, and out into kind of the fog exterior, where you do see these kind of faint bluish purple lights making their way through the sky as the dreadnought seems to be making its way back towards the island. It's still a little ways off, but it's visible from where you are. It's like slowly making its descent down carefully towards the island. But on the immediate outside of the temple, around the kind of stone garden exterior where these two statues stand, you just see chaos. You see large swaths of land carved and chipped, broken stone, several bodies down, just core, like smashed metal men, these warforged, and several pirates, as well as a handful of Eldrazi-looking figures. No sign of Egoth. But
What about Tiny?
You can make an investigation check.
Oh my god, Kyle, don't do this to me.
Is it still foggy?
It is. Almost direct, the same as it was before. Incredibly
21.
thick. 21. As you kind of make your way through the mess of this encounter, you wager that the forces on the island have been whittled down to maybe a quarter of what still stands. Egoth and whoever came along with him, as well as just the fighting that's been going on the last couple hours, has done a number to the figures who are here protecting the island. There's not many left, and it does look like Tiny is a victim.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you win some, you lose some.
Like Charlize Theron from Fury Road. I just clutched one of these Warforged spells and just let out a silent scream to the heavens.
You just see across his massive chest just like 3 incredibly large, deep grooves. There's no blood. He's a metal man, but he's no more.
I kind of lean down over to him near where Valentine is, and I go, out of all the souls we encountered, his was one of the most human.
I will just pick up the remains of his hand.
Oh,
Give it the tiniest fist bump. And put it on his chest, trying to cover one of these scars.
It's very heavy,
It takes me a long time to do that.
but you do it.
And then I say, "You will be avenged, dear friend." Wipe my eyes, stand up.
As you do,
We're tiny.
you see the dreadnought is slowly kind of lowering itself over the island, and you see as it's kind of like you don't see any fans or any propellers keeping it aloft. You see these 2 large glowing kind of orbs or crystals. You're not sure. It's difficult to make out from the distance, but they do kind of kick off this arcane wind, and it does clear quite a bit of space as it lowers itself over the island, and it clears out a swath of the fog as Gambino and Syrah, and actually his full core crew descends onto the island. You see Gambino, Syrah, you do see Cook, the Githyanki warrior Senzara. You see the kind of dark-skinned and dreadlock figure that you've not really encountered yet, though you do know his name is Lev. You were introduced, but he hasn't really said or done anything yet. You don't see Raven as you watch the ship begin to kind of raise itself back up once more. And Gambino makes his way towards you, and he kind of walks over and kind of, with a boot, kind of taps at Tiny as both parties kind of come together. Says, "Always liked him. Hey, he wins him. Well, what the fuck happened here?
He was the best of us.
I mean, I don't even know his name."
His name was Tiny. Yeah, when you guys left, they tried to do they successfully tried to do a surprise assault on the temple. We managed to save Quinn before they were able to kill him. But yeah, Raymond showed up. Some of his, assassin wizard bitches. Guy with the big sword did a lot of stuff here. What did you guys see from up top? Everything's okay, at least for the time being. But you still seeing them?
We weren't seeing much. Truth be told, we just saw a kind of large group of things below. Couldn't tell if they were alive or dead. Didn't matter to me. Killed whoever was there. But there's still quite a few out there.
So they're still there, eh?
Still somewhat. They seem to... why we came back. They seem to withdraw. The undead seem to kind of lose focus. It's a big one. Big, scary one. Hit him good. Hit him real good.
Oh, good to know.
But he's still standing. Somewhere. He kind of just looks off ominously.
I also look up. Well, we might have a window here then if you and your crew need to heal up, but the real show doesn't start till midnight. That's the thing.
We do, however. They came and left. Why?
It bothers me too. I think they thought that they were going to kill the sacrifice and that was going to be it. They were real close to it too, admittedly.
Well, that's kind of a stupid plan. I mean, one of you fucking hero types would have just stepped up.
I'm growing more and more concerned by the moment as we talk about it. Raymond, Hondo, you caught a look at him. Didn't he say something like, we got what we came for?
Very much so.
Is anything going?
Okay.
Gambino kind of leaning in,
I lean and look at Quinn. Is anything going?
Quinn just kind of surprised to be involved. He's like, there's nothing in there. It's an empty room. There's an archway and a platform and 4 walls.
Kyle, was Cook there, sorry, in this group?
Now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll say, well, you did have someone down there. You didn't see anything more?
Cook kind of steps up a little sheepish. And he says, "Aye, Captain, I came running when a big beardy guy showed up. I'll be honest, not my finest hour, but And he just kind of shrugs, and Camino's like, "It's all right, Cook. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay."
Yeah, the question was very passive aggressive.
Quinn, when they got in there, they managed to paralyze you. Did they do anything to you? Did they cast any other spells on you?
I mean, they tried a couple of things, and the most effective was the blades, just cutting.
Yeah.
They seemed... I mean, honestly, Raymond didn't seem overly focused on wanting me alive or dead. He didn't really give a fuck I was there. The rest of them just came to get me because, truthfully, as soon as they showed up, I went at them.
Would you mind if we all had this conversation back down there?
Sure. Begin making your way down.
I'm just growing nervous that we maybe missed something or us leaving is a bad idea. Why don't we stay where we need to be?
Sure. So you guys are going to go all the way down to the lower chamber?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys cool with that? I don't want to make a decision for everyone, but I'm getting nervous.
I mean, we can take another look. Didn't you take a good look, Scott?
At what?
When we first got down there, yeah.
You did a quick look in the chamber, and you didn't see anything amiss. Everything seemed more or less the same.
What if they're just hiding out in an ethereal plane and they're going to pop back? I don't know. I'm just getting nervous. I don't want to leave it. What if they will force us again? Then we're fucked.
Does anyone have detect magic?
I do. Takes me a bit, but I could do it. I'm sure it's going to go off like a fucking light bulb in there, but I can do it.
Well, for sure, but you might be able to see if Raymond placed something invisible.
I can do that.
Would they have taken his blood for anything?
It's another good idea. I don't know.
Sira kind of steps up as you suggest that and says, well, if they want to keep tabs on you, blood will do the trick. It'll be an easy way for them to get eyes.
Well, let's take
sorry to cut you off. She cuts you off and says, but that's a foolhardy way to get eyes on, there's a lot of risk involved, and you play your hand. That couldn't have been the only thing they were here for. Perhaps just a lucky side effect.
I'm thinking Raymond either placed some kind of spell or hid something. I don't know.
Hondo, he said to you, soon his big daddy devil will be here and make this the 10th layer. Right? Wasn't it something like that? He seemed very confident and very assured that it was going to happen shortly.
I was still full of rage and revenge. I did not catch that.
You've had a bad day. We get it.
Over the next, it only takes you guys a minute or two to get back down to the lower chamber. And as you kind of all settle in, a relatively large group of you now in this not impressively huge room. You all settle in. Quinn just immediately kind of makes his way over to one of the pillars and kind of sits down, posts up. You see Cook make his way over beside him, and he kind of pats him on the shoulder and begins like sparking up his pipe once more. Quinn just kind of gives him a bit of a fucking like, come on. As Gambino kind of begins like looking over you, and he kind of gestures to Lev and says, "Look, we're all on the same side, right?"
Yeah.
He gestures to Lev and says, "Our boy Lev here has some magic he can dole out if any of you are in real need."
Oh, wow. Yeah, is anyone low? Gord, after your flames wore off, you looked a little low. Brawly, Mary, Hondo, you low on HP?
Yeah, Kev, how are you doing?
We're about 89.
You're 89? Wow, you're doing great.
Oh, yeah, Brock's not doing good.
Right, Gordo could use some help.
Good on health, bad on spells.
I know. We don't get them back on shorts.
Search. Trying to pull up the character sheet on DDBI and it doesn't want to search for me. That's okay.
If they start doing that, could I start ritually casting Detect Magic?
Yeah, you guys begin to kind of settle into a bit of a tentative short rest. I wouldn't say go through with the short rest just yet, just in case. You never know.
Can I telepathically tell Mira to, like, keep an eye on the entrance to the temple?
Yeah, just as you guys kind of begin to go down, you send that message out and feel like a positive response. Let's see. Lev here. How hurt is Brock? How hurt are you, Gord?
It's half.
About
Half?
40-ish down.
94, but I got like 20 temp hit points.
He'll put a 3rd level cure on you. He comes around and he works a little magic on you. Actually, for you, Gord, he kind of, as you're kind of all kind of moving about and just kind of settling in this kind of tentative alliance, as Val, you sit down with your ritual book and begin pulling out the components and bits for Detect Magic. Lev heads over to you, Gord, and takes a look over you, and he puts a hand across some of your wounds. You feel them begin to kind of stitch up, and he kind of reaches inside like a pouch through like a bit of his tunic, and he pulls out this bag of what you recognize as pipeweed. He says, "This will do you up right." And he kind of passes it over to you.
Love it.
Are you going to accept that stranger's drug gift, Gordon?
I am. I'll smoke it right now. I'll take out my pipe and start smoking it.
How do you think you have to smoke it?
Well, it's pipeweed.
Gord's an experienced taker of strange drugs.
Herbs, spices.
Everything nice.
It's a lot. It is quite nice. It's quite nice stuff. But Lev begins kind of making his way, continuing around the rounds. Is there anyone else who needs
A toke?
or a toke? Either or.
Probably, what are you at? You could always use help, I bet.
I mean, I'm not horrendous. I'm at 130 out of 179, but it's lower than.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's one of those things that depends on if we get a short rest, because like wasting the healing seems like it sucks if I could get it in short rest.
But it's not our healing.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if I'd be able to get it all back out of short rest. I don't think I have enough hit dice left.
That was you guys potentially could go through a short rest and then roll hit dice at that point. However, you guys have already done a short rest today, so some of you have already burned a fair amount of your hit dice. So even if you did, there's a chance you might not get it all.
I think I'm out of all my hit dice too.
Yeah, Brawley takes them in.
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh man.
He will drop a second level Cure Wounds on you.
Sorry, Kev, how far down are you?
Not great, Allie. You heal for 10.
At 89
Awesome, thank you.
Out of?
out of 110.
You're not terrible, but you can't take another short rest, or you can. I can't remember who was where, because Gordon, Alana took a short rest while everyone else.
That was me.
Oh, it was you two. Gotcha.
Did I
have
say how
one
much I healed Gord for?
You didn't say it.
Oh,
You just said it was going to be 3 cure.
Oh, let me roll that.
Are we all taking short rest?
We might try.
You can potentially try. You're not sure if you'll get through it yet. I roll, Gord, you heal 18.
That's good.
And have some nice pipe weed to calm your mind.
Hit you over.
How are you guys doing, Scott and Amanda?
I'm okay.
I'm 84 out of 99.
Yeah, your resources are less health, it's your spells.
I dare not say this in front of our DM, but I'm at max health at 98. It's just spells.
Yeah, I'm down like 37, so I don't want to push in terms of asking potential allies for help, but if there is more to take, I will take it. So let's put it that way.
He will tap you for a first level Cure Wounds.
There you
That's
go.
fine.
You heal 10.
Yay.
If none of you need any other attention from old Lev.
Lev.
I'm gonna
Can I
watch what
ask
Sierra's doing during all this too.
Sierra is just kind of standing with Gambino, just kind of idly, just kind of like has her hand just kind of like brushing over his hat and like his kind of like his ear and like side of his face, just kind of like watching the rest of you as Gambino is just kind of like fiddling with like his pistol and just like polishing it and practicing like spinning it and putting it back, just kind of waiting for Lev to do his thing and everyone else to kind of settle in. Killing the time.
I look at Hondo and I say, maybe Lev can help you out with your, like, you're not feeling so sprite there, pal.
Yeah, if Lab wanna help me, I would appreciate it.
Tell him what's ailing you.
He like looks at you and just says, I mean, you've definitely lost some blood, and kind of looks you up and down and says, I mean, you want me to give you an actual physical? I can check you out.
I'm poisoned, so whatever it takes to get this poison healed.
He says, all right. And he kind of looks over at Gambino and says, Gambino looks at you and says, you got a little tummy ache? What happened, Hondo?
This is amazing.
I don't know, I guess that I slept in the wrong bed and I'm paying the price.
I've been there. I understand. I suppose, yeah, Lev, give him a top up. And Lev kind of smiles and taps you with a lesser restoration. And you are no longer poisoned.
Oh,
Hey!
big!
Big.
I am very obliged, thank you.
You immediately feel loads better.
Yeah, a high-level rogue with no sneak attack is useless.
You begin boxing, and Gambino just smiles and says, "You're welcome."
I did say thank you, I did.
I heard you.
I heard you again.
I'm
So-
still my little thingy to go off.
It's still going to be a little bit for you. It's 10 minutes, 10 and 6 seconds, I guess, for detect magic. You guys, if you want to begin the process of short rest, is that what the plan is here? That's what Quinn was kind of alluding to.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll say 10 minutes in. Nothing yet has disturbed it as you cast detect magic. The whole room is just crazy magic.
Oof.
Like everything, it's real bright. There's different sources of magic of different kinds. There's kind of illusion and all around the space. Like this entire light thing is clearly an illusion. It's not actually the moon. You're underground by several hundred feet. Not 100 feet, but you know what I mean. All your friends obviously lit up like crazy, but looking towards the east wall or west wall, whatever, at the archway, you can see like let me see specifically what it is. You almost expect to see conjuration, and you do. You see conjuration kind of, but it's muddy. It's mixed with another type of magic. You see across the entire wall, but heavily focused on the door and down into the platform itself. It's kind of like an all-encompassing enchantment of some kind. You see a glitter of magic, of conjuration and transmutation.
Over where the archway is supposed to be?
From the platform and then up into the archway and then all across the wall. Like heavier focused, more concentrated. Like if it was a light, the archway and the platform would be brightest, and then it would fade out across the rest of the wall all the way to the edges of this entire wall.
I wonder if I'll like start walking towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say out loud, I wonder if he casts another one of those walls on this to stop us from being able to go through. And I'll kind of like put a hand on it.
Put your hand to it.
Does it feel like stone, or does it feel like there's a barrier there?
It feels like stone. It feels like you feel the texture. You can feel like you see a crack, and you can feel the crack, and you can feel... The one thing that kind of surprises you is it's cold. And you're used to like kind of dungeons and subterranean cold. This is almost supernaturally cold. Not freezing. You don't get freezer burn. You don't pull back in pain. But it's just colder than you anticipated, and that weirds you out a little bit. But you're not sure, anything beyond. It's just cold.
You said the types were conjuration and what was it?
Transmutation.
We don't know if that's Raymond or if that's supposed to be there.
True.
And same with the cold. That could just be, the veil of death or whatever the fuck.
While this is still going on, I'll just like look back at our group and kind of just take a glance over Gambino and Sierra with detect magic to see if anything pops.
Yep. You can see a couple of pockets on their accoutrement all kind of glisten. Gambino's armor glistens beneath kind of like, he's got like leather plates beneath kind of like clothing and stuff like that. He's got this kind of like smaller coat over top of everything. You can see the armor glistens with like abjuration magic, as most like protection stuff. His weapon has some enchantment to it, evocation based. You see across Sierra a couple of what look like weapon pouches that potentially have like a glimmer of light within. Nothing that shocks you.
Okay.
A lot of just kind of weapon and armor based enchantments, same as any of you guys would have.
And then
across the rest, before as you kind of scan the rest of the party as well, I believe Senzara's sword on his back glows, but nothing else. Cook, nothing. except he does have this wand in a side kind of pocket that kind of glows. And Lev, nothing at all. And that's the full crew. Yeah, Raven's not with you.
And then I've already basically taken a perception around the room. There's nothing else like in a spooky corner or anything like that?
You can make a proper investigation just to see if you spot anything hidden.
Yeah, I'll probably tell the group. I don't know if I'm picking up on something that's supposed to be there or not, but that door feels cool in a chilly way that I'm not sure is natural. I'm just going to take a little more time to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I'll go for that.
Make an investigation.
Okay, nice. 20. Just not naturally.
I'm going to say, because you guys are in the midst of a short rest, you take the full 10 minutes for your detect magic to wear out. And over that entire time, you spend just poking and prodding as much of this room as you can. Anything that seems out of the ordinary, it all seems weird, but normal amounts of weird. Nothing jumps out at you as tainted. Nothing jumps out at you as cursed. Nothing jumps out at you as something that another spell is with detect magic is hiding within. Doesn't seem like it. You feel very confident that you're not missing anything obvious. Or even.
What if it's like? Was someone going to say something? Okay, great. What if it's like if they put some sort of block or barrier up here so we can't go through to help with this ritual? Or what if it's like they put a gate here that they're going to open up and then come through at midnight?
I mean, they might not even need that. We know Raymond can teleport. Maybe he just wanted to see the space so he can get there without actually having to come through the lines.
What if we go through that and we end up somewhere else?
I think we want to be. But that's a good point, Mary. Maybe he wanted to get a scout so he could open up something here.
But to Lav's point, it's almost like something we talked about. If we had a way to take a doorway and make it into a gate somewhere else, so if someone went through, they wouldn't end up where they expected. Maybe they've done that. Maybe they've corrupted the destination of this doorway.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Lavender. I'm not sure what we do about it. I've closed a gate before with very good luck in this sword, but I can't rely on that.
He said the 10th layer of hell will come soon. He will come soon. So yeah, what if at midnight this thing opens up and it's not the way to complete this? What if it's devils and their spawn coming through? We got to be prepared for that.
Conjuration and transmutation. I really wish I knew more about magic.
You'd love it, honestly.
Really. Yeah, except it just all seems. Yeah, it seems so. I can't even put words to it. I hit things. I need to look at things that are in front of me.
What do we need to know? What do we know for sure? We know at midnight, that's where the next part of this ritual happens. This moonbeam, artificial or not, we know when it gets to this altar, that's when the next stage of this happens. Gambino, you said they're still hanging out there. It's not like they were scared off by our show of force, so they're still waiting for something.
They're waiting, or they're plotting their next move, or something. They're not going.
That didn't seem like we beat them back and now they're trying to lick their wounds. That seemed like they had a play, they did something, now they're waiting for their next play.
The way the sounds of it, yeah, they sound like they came in for a scout. Either, as you've investigated here, Raymond has done something here that's going to throw us off, or as I alluded to, and as my lovely here, as he kind of gestures to Sierra, says, alluded to earlier as well, they just need to get noise on, perhaps.
Does anyone have any way to talk to the dead? Have some bodies here. I don't know if they're lackeys. I don't know how much they'll know, but they might be able to at least see something.
He nods at Lev and at Cook and says, Well, that's something we're quite good at, actually.
Well,
We're a shoot first, ask questions later kind of type.
I didn't get that vibe.
Interesting. Thought you were more perceptive, I'll be honest.
That's just the space. Yeah, that'd be really handy. You wouldn't
Sure.
know.
Hey, Cookie, go on. And
Cookies.
Cook kind of sits up and taps out his pipe and puts it down and kind of looks around and sees the whisperer on the ground and just kind of gestures and points. It's like, that one? Looking at the rest of you. Okay. And he kind of makes his way over and kind of flips her over, kind of very ungracefully, flops over. The mask kind of kicks off and just like gets caught in the pool of blood. Kind of looks down at her. So it's, what's my asking?
What do we want to know, guys? I mean, if we ask why, this is just me talking out of game. If we ask why they're there, just be like, oh, I was just here to protect Raymond. And they don't have to answer, right, Kyle?
So the spell grants the ability for a corpse to respond to up to 5 questions. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. They know what they knew in life, including the languages it knew. It's not going to be an issue. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive. And the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer. If you are hostile to it, or if it recognizes you as an enemy, which is possible, the spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only animating its spirit. Thus, it can't learn new information, doesn't comprehend anything after it's past, and you can't speculate about future events. It only knows what it knew in life. You can ask it 5 questions, and it is under no obligation to answer them truthfully.
Wonder if there's a way we can try to convince it that we're not an enemy. I don't think I know enough about this magic. Is this something you've come up against before? Them not wanting to say shit? Looking over at Sierra and Gambino.
He says, oh yeah, it's typically why we keep a couple. You know, we can cross-reference information, and some of them we just beat the hell out of after anyways for pissing us off, but sometimes we get good information. Depends on the day, depends how pissed we are. I think right now we're pretty good.
We have a couple of options here too.
Hondo, I don't know if they react to anyone outside the person who's asking the question, but you still have a way to make yourself look like someone else. I mean, I wave around at the random Eldrazi, like, take your pick, these are allies.
I would have fun as an Eldrazi, I think. I don't mind trying.
Cook says, well, typically they only answer the one asking the questions, but I mean, if you're standing there, perhaps it'll help. It out.
Let's give it a try.
It can't hurt. So do you use the disguise, hat of disguise to look like who? What do you look like?
You got 3 different types to pick from. You got big stabby sword guys who are kind of dumb, who fight like me. You have very assassin-y type guys, and then you have mask-wearing magic-y guys, which is the same person that this person is.
Yeah.
Mask-wearing magic-y people.
That's what you would pick.
Hondo, you use the hat of disguise, and in a matter of moments, more or less, your entire visage is completely overtaken by this mask, this white, almost like pearlescent mask, like featureless, and you are adorned in the reds and blacks of a rather spiffy-looking whisperer of the Eldrazi.
Well, damn, I feel good to be here.
Loving this.
It gives you a look, and it's just like, well, that's pretty good. Well, if at least you've got a couple of questions at the ready, here we go. And he begins kind of like moving his hands around, and you just see he like gestures towards the body, and there's a kind of quick cast of magic across, and kind of cascades across the body, and you watch as its eyes open immediately, and they're just like dull gray, white. The jaw kind of swishes back into position, and it sits up into a seated position. Looks at Cook, And Cook looks at Hondo, and then the rest of you says, just like does like a gesture of like,
my friend, I'm wondering, could you please tell me, what was Raymond Borales' purpose here?
make a persuasion or make a deception check. Sorry.
It's a little George Bush almost.
All right.
Evan just pulls out all these accents.
I know.
They're so good.
It's fun. Why
8
not?
plus what? Deception.
Deception, Kev.
13. So that's 22.
Damn.
21.
21. He the form there kind of shifts and like looks at you with these just entirely opaque dead eyes and says following the orders of our throat tier.
It said following the orders of Throtier.
Yeah, sorry. I gotta move closer to my mic.
Hondo's bad hearing. We all heard it.
That's a good answer. Thank you. Friend, would you also be able to tell us how many of the Eldrazi are left? How many do we have to deal with?
Immediately kind of like looks up and looks around and looks back at you and says, I know not our final totals. We were dwindling down to our last 100.
Good. Pretty good.
That sounds like a good total. But I'm happy with that, I think.
Sounds like a good tower.
Friend, can you also tell us what was Throatier's orders? Make it clear for us if you could. It would appreciate it.
You see the kind of brow furrow ever so slightly. Make another deception check.
Come on. Show me that dice, baby. Okay.
I literally thought it said 0.
No, multiple times.
I was like, how is it even possible?
23. 10 and 13.
You see the brow furrow, but with no real cognizance to judge there, but an animated spirit says, they needed to know where the final deed would go down and where the door lay. That's it.
That was 3 questions, right? We're supposed to get 5?
Yeah, 2 more.
That was very helpful, Bren. Thank you very much. I guess I'm wondering if we can't get back to the group, what should we do next?
It says, our fallback is always the same. Return to the Adversal.
Where's that?
One more.
I appreciate that answer. Thank you.
There's no response.
That's the best.
You have one more question.
Any other options, anyone?
I think is Raymond at full health, or should we be concerned either by him or by Throatier?
The face kind of looks up and smiles and says, you should always be concerned about the harbinger of famine. And it just falls back away.
Well done, Hondo.
Cook just kind of like, hey, good job. Was that is that good? You're happy with those answers? Everything's good?
Well, the Emperor's got his new groove.
Hey. Oh God, is this the new accent? So, just to clarify for everyone, he basically is like, oh, well, he just needed to know where the door is. We still don't know for what purpose, or if he did anything else to it while he was here. But this guy may not know those things anyway. Any of these guys may not know those things. Their job was to be here as bodyguards, right?
It seemed intentionally vague, but with a bead of new knowledge.
Mm-hmm. They were dwindling to their last 100 last time we saw. How many fucking 100 of them were there?
Yeah, I'll take whatever, as long as they're at their last 100. That's good with me. Good to know where they hide out too. I mean, Mary, you kind of had a beat on that, but good to get that reaffirmed. So I think they fuck with this door. I think they're coming back. Last 100, throw Tyr's orders. We know that was their play when they stormed Hammerstock. Bring out a gate of hell right into the temple. Kyle, can we remember? Can I make a memory check? Who opened that gate last time?
Throw-Tyr did it from the other side.
Yeah.
So if Throw-Tyr knows what it is, maybe that's part of their play. Maybe Throw-Tyr's in hell. That was the deal. He opened it up from that side.
That was what happened in Hammerstock. Throw-Tyr was in the hell side, opened a gate to the throne room, with like from hell brought Egoth and the war through, but he was kept on the other side when Mary nixed the portal.
That's right. We saw him. That bitch.
And then he came back anyway.
Back up later.
Fucked up Elena.
You can still do other magic.
That's too bad.
I would say if you wanted to go through a short rest, you guys have worked through about a half of one now. You'll get through an hour here comfortably. If you want to go through the act of rolling for hit dice and all that jazz.
Yes,
those
please.
of you who do need it. While you guys do that, let's take a quick break. I gotta pee, and then you guys can roll some health and stuff, and we can just jump back in right from here. So, as we pick up, you guys have already finished your short rest and done all your hit dice and all that jazz. Those of you who have warlock spell slots that come back or fighter abilities that come back, they're back. So, more than an hour passes as you guys are taking in this time of recuperation, investigation, some idle chit-chat. Lev, Sen, and Cook, over the hour and a half, 2 hours that ultimately encompasses the time here, they head back out to the upper levels and make their way back towards the Dreadnought. So it is just your group with Gambino and Syrah as the hours slowly tick by. And it does begin to kind of drag. After the first hour, Gambino gets like kind of a soldier, a pirate comes down and gives him a kind of a heads up that in yourselves, but Gambino is kind of the direct contact. There's some small clusters of undead are making their way onto the islands in kind of sparse, like random areas. No direct or organized attack or anything like that, but they've just been fending off more and more undead as time has gone on. Either more have been coming from the city or coming from the sea, as you guys have seen happen before, or the Vow have become less of a force for them to target. At roughly like 3 hours in, if there's anything you guys want to have done in this time, let me know. But as the hours and minutes slowly continue to stretch and tick, Gambino reacts to like a message, and immediately doesn't respond to it immediately, but just kind of begins to set up and says, Raven said something's kind of changing with the fog. I don't know if you want to check it out, or I'm a little curious myself. Maybe Syrah and I will go if any of you are interested. Just see what's going on. Didn't seem anything was coming through, but the fog seems to be dissipating.
I don't mind going. If you guys want to stay here, or someone wants to come with. I'll just go then.
Hop to. The three of you make your way a couple minutes up to the main level of the temple. And immediately, it doesn't look any vastly different. But as you kind of peer out of the temple and Gambino and Syrah with you,
Sorry, can I be watching this through Mira, or like asking Mira to give me updates as well, and just tell them to follow them, just in case?
Sure. Val, you do catch eyes with Mira up above, who's kind of like almost perched on top of the towers of the temple. A minute or two pass, and you do begin to feel cooler, and the fog does begin to kind of look a little bit more sparse. You're able to see a little further. It's kind of eerily quiet. Another couple minutes pass as Gambino and Sierra just kind of look around, and you all kind of go out to the edges of like the island and the edges around the temple and just kind of look. And for the most part, it's all quiet. You hear the creak and the movement of the pirates and Warforged that are still holding the island.
Is the ship right above us?
It's not directly above, but like near the island. It's close.
Cool.
And over another 5, maybe 10 minutes, the fog almost entirely begins to kind of dissipate. Grows very low, and it's kind of just rolling across the ground now rather than literally like a cloud, all pervasive. And soon a crystal clear night sky. It's crisp and cold, but an unobstructed view of the full moon is kind of bathing everything and everyone in this faint, eerie, pale, ghostly light. And it's, again, eerily quiet. You hear, "Captain!" And Gambino turns and you turn. And a pirate of some just kind of schlubby looking pirate kind of hustles over and says, "There's some undead coming over. Seems like a relatively larger group of you like in on the action, as it were. But if not, we can handle it." And he kind of says, "No, I think you will take it for here. This is weirding me out. Perhaps we head back."
I agree.
Something's changing, though. He kind of looks at you.
I don't know if it's the hordes of this place that are doing it.
Well, I don't think so. Why after all this time?
It's getting close to game time, I think. But I think you're right. I think we should start heading down.
It's good to know, at least. Gives us clear line of sight.
Unless that's what they want. Sorry, let me go.
That's okay. Can I send Mira up as high as we went last time until we were out of the fog?
Mm-hmm.
In case the fog has been replaced by an illusion or something, is my thought.
Sure.
To try to see what she can see, and maybe potentially go out and see if she can see the encampment still.
Yep. You make a perception check for Mira as she makes her move.
She rolled so good. Okay, I can never remember what a perception is. 23. She rolled a 19.
Good girl. Mira, it'll take a bit of time. Like, it's a fair amount of flying and moving around to kind of scout out. But Val, you notice as Mira takes off into the sky. Gambino and Sierra kind of look up, but are already aware that Mira's on your side and not to be worried about. Gambino just kind of looks around, and as the sky is suddenly incredibly clear, and you can see winking kind of stars up in the sky, but the moon is just massive and full and bright. It illuminates kind of as far as you can see, like quite a distance now. It's suddenly very, very clear. Gambino is just still kind of shifty looking around. He pulls out that message stone. It says, "Well, Raven, bring her about. Something here you don't trust. Keep her about," and he kind of looks at you and says, "Keep her at 400 feet above the temple. Keep her at 300 feet above the temple. Keep her at 350 feet above the temple." And he kind of just like doing some mental math and just kind of kind of looks at Sierra, and she says, kind of shrugs. And he kind of gives you a little like knowing kind of nod. If we ever need an escape plan.
Yes, please.
No, you know. See, we can be friends. There's no reason for any fighting if we don't need it.
Listen, I'm ready to bail on these losers. You just give me the word.
Oh, not like that. I just mean, after all this, even before all this, perhaps it's time we put behind some rivalries behind us. We might have good partnership here. It's possible.
I mean this with all honesty and all of my heart. I mean, I really respect you, and I would very much enjoy that.
Respect will go far away. Let's see if you can, let's see if we collectively prove ourselves worthy of one another. This will be a night to prove it, if ever.
I really appreciate you helping us out down there too with your healing and putting bygones be bygones, at least for the moment, with the blue one.
I owe him an apology. I'll do it, but we have a history.
I don't know if yeah.
We have a history. And truth be told, I've been far more a scoundrel than I have a hero in my life, in my past. I'm not necessarily working towards the hero life. Not by a long shot. I still count myself quite a scoundrel. But as time passes, living this life gets harder. You make too many enemies. You need some friends every now and again. I hope to count you as one. And your friends.
I would love that. Can I make an insight check without it being disrespectful? Just trying to gauge the sentiment in his voice?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, there's no active, like, not pulling the glasses
Are
down.
you?
No, it's just, what do you read? Absolutely.
Oh, that's pretty good. 16 plus 8 is Kevin. 24.
No, the answer is 24.
I know he's hard to read, but yeah.
He is, in fact, very hard to read. But in this case, you feel a sense of sincerity. You feel a real sense of him connecting and recognizing his own faults, as well as much as like certain deals and things have gone his way. He understands why you're doing what you're doing. You think that there's a potential future for partnership?
Follow up. What does Sierra's face look like during this?
As you kind of flick over to her as he's saying this, she kind of rolls her eyes and definitely does not seem to share the same best pals motif. But not from this moment specifically, but from every other moment you've had with the two of them, they follow one another.
Yeah, there's not like brewing contempt there. It's like, okay.
They are a sound partnership between the two of them. Okay. Now, like, should things go sour on one side, that means it sours both.
Yeah. Good to know.
At least for the time being, she's accepting. Gambino says, yes, I think it's high time we make amends. This might be the last night we ever can. Come. And he kind of gestures to Sierra, and she kind of rolls her eyes. Just follows suit.
While we walk, I'll ping Mary and be like, hey, is Mira seeing anything? I see her doing some loops.
Yeah, Mary, with that perception check, as I said, it does take a couple of minutes because you want to get really high up.
And then she has to like come back in order to be in range.
Got to
right?
come back to be in range to actually communicate to you. And you said you wanted her to go a little towards the enemy, like just to get an idea of sight line on that?
I said start going up to the same distance as where the fog was to see if it's like an illusion that can be broken out of or something.
Yep.
And then just enough where you could see where the camps were. Maybe if you just get high enough, you could still see where the camps were and just try to get a beat on if they're there or if they're on the move or what.
From that height, she could see it from there. So that's not a big difference. As she flies up, and by the time she comes back down, it seems that whatever this fog was, there's no difference at a couple 100 feet above it as 5 feet within it. It seems to be gone. And it seems incredibly clear. She does get, with it being so clear, pretty good sight line. It seems from her memory and from her perspective that the war camp is still where it was. There's still some fires burning, and though a smaller number than the initial number, still quite a relatively large group of people.
Or they're not fighting undead anymore. Whatever the
Seems
fuck
to
it
have
is,
broken away from that. And including in that perception, she doesn't see the Nightwalker. She doesn't see any massive undead army. Whatever first encounter came and went without any of you having to be involved, seemingly.
I do not trust that shit. I don't know about anybody else,
Sure.
but I don't seriously doubt that a Nightwalker is just not there anymore.
I just hear the cursing in my ear. Can I, before I go in, just try and take one last look at the dreadnought, try and like gauge it in my mental visual as I like work my way underground of just where it would be?
Yep. And you watch as Gambino instructed, it slowly begins to move across overhead, casting a little bit of a shadow across all of you, and then like constantly kind of blowing down this weird kind of warmish wind, which is kind of nice as it got suddenly rather cool. But before you go down, you do see it kind of take position, encompassing most of the, like beyond the temple. Like it's a large ship. The deck is as bigger than the temple itself, as wide.
Can I
maybe equal to, anyways?
Can I give him a little whistle as we're going down?
To Gambino?
Gambino, yeah.
Sure.
If this goes real bad, we might not be able to jump up to your ship. But it'd be great if you could. Is there some place we could meet up? Is there a hideout along the coast that you guys hit up usually?
Well, typically, honestly, our hideout is here. Seems like we want to get away from here. We have somewhere else we go, but it might be hard for you to get to. Perhaps we find somewhere in the middle. Here, look.
You ever been to the Cal?
Well, we've been to the Cal, but truth be told, I don't really want to go back there right in a second. But if that's where you want to head, I suppose we could.
Nah, I was just trying to think of somewhere out of the way, not near the coast.
Let's say this. When we get out, big if, but if we get out, we'll message you.
Yeah, all right. That sounds good.
We'll find a place.
Cool.
He kind of makes his way a little further below. You get through the catacombs, and you guys watch from the room, Leah or Mary, as you kind of receive all these kind of mental messages from Mira as everyone returns. Gambino steps out. Says, well, looks like we got a little bit of time left between now and Armageddon or whatever's coming. Whatever is going to happen here. So, had a little chat with your boy here. Kind of gestures at Val. Says, he walks up to Hondo. Says, Master Blue, we have quite a history. Quite a past. And I've said it to your friend here. I've certainly been a scoundrel. And so have you. But I think there's plenty of room for partnership here. I'm willing to put away my reservations. I'm willing to put behind past slights on both sides. I apologize.
You know, we wouldn't be pirates if we didn't, scoundrel and make enemies. We would be cowards. So I accept your apology. I've done some bad things, and I certainly am apologetic for those two. So I say yes. I say we move on.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm very happy. Honestly, you've made me a very happy gnome today. It's a good thing every now and again to clear bad air, clear bad omens. You're not a bad captain in your own right. Just need a ship.
I appreciate it.
Perhaps we'll find one day.
Valentine is like almost crying while witnessing this.
He reaches into a bag that Sierra has, and he draws out what looks like a dark brown bottle. And he kind of kicks off the stopper with his teeth, spits it out, takes a swig, and says, "To future partnerships." And he hands it to you.
So I take a swig.
Can I have during that on both sides, both Hondo and the Hondo thing is more just for flavor. Wanted to see how sincere that apology was.
Sure, insight check.
'Cause I did not hear any of the shit that Scott heard earlier. That is good. It's not excellent, but it's good.
Okay.
What's my insight again? Why can't I do math? It's a 28.
Hondo, if you are trying to deceive in this partnership, if you're not being truthful in your agreement with Gambino, you can roll a deception check. If you are actively happy with the agreement and you are actively trying to be like persuasive with him, you can make a persuasion check. Roll that, whichever one. Don't say which it is until we know the total, and then we'll figure it out from Eyrie.
I did math wrong. It's a 26.
Okay. From the Gambino side, it seems sincere. Okay. And from Hondo's side, I think Mary beats you. Are you accepting truthfully, or are you just trying to go along with it?
I'd say I accept it 65%, meaning I'm willing to like go with it, but
You have like some suspicion.
I am suspicious.
That's a fair way to put it too. I would say, yeah, if we're using a percentage scale, Gambino's not 100%. Gambino's but still maybe like 75-80% sincere. There's always going to be a little room for both of them being scoundrels and pirates. Always there. Shenanigans afoot. But it legitimately does try to be mean to be putting bygones be bygones.
A pirate knows not to fully trust anyone.
Absolutely, and a pirate knows that a deal is only as good as the people who are making the deal. Not all these people are that good. But for the
Did you take a swig, by the way?
I did.
Oh, good for you.
It's good. It's rum, spiced, pretty good. You've had it before. It's expensive, and you recognize that taste.
It's the best stuff.
Oh, I think so. He kind of takes it back, passes it to Sierra. Sierra takes a swig. She kind of like holds it and looks at the rest of you. And Gambino kind of nudges her a bit. She just like holds it out without anyone in particular. Just like holds it out if anyone goes to take it.
I'll go grab it.
Yeah, great.
I take the tiniest swig because I'm not a big drinker, and I'm terrified for
It burns.
having my faculties around me.
It burns quite a bit for someone who's not a big drinker.
It's good. It's good. Anyone else?
Bit of a lightweight.
Yeah.
I'll also go for some.
Absolutely. It is. You're used to more stout dwarven stuff. This matches like your typical kind of dwarven whiskey or anything like that. Though it is rum, it's a little bit of a different vibe, a little bit of different taste. But it's strong. It's good. Gambino looks to you, Hondo, and says, like I say, we have quite a bit of history. But this whole situation, it's bigger than all of us. And we're not quite like you. We don't quite have the same reasons for doing what we're doing. But we understand why you're doing it. We even recognize that it's probably better than what we're trying to do.
Speaking of what you're trying to do, can I ask you something? I don't want to sound like I'm being offensive.
No, sure. Well, we're all trying to share here, I suppose. Go ahead.
Look at this side. They're not going to stop trying to come after it. And your crew's capable. Do you think you're capable to avoid them for eternity?
That's where you're wrong. Don't need to avoid them for eternity. We just got to get it to its new home.
The new home is a place you're confident they won't find.
Not necessarily that they won't find, but they can't get to. I think that's more right.
Cryptic.
I assure it'll be safe.
Sounds good. Can I take a little glance at the ground here and see where that moonbeam is in accordance to the...
Getting closer and closer.
I'll just kind of walk and stand in it, like as I'm looking at it, just walking and standing.
Feels no different. You know, you don't feel any arcane anything. You don't feel any even temperature shift. It literally feels same as you were before.
More just for trying to feel a connection to the Summer Queen. Not trying to do anything, but just holding my hand on Ethereus. Non-threatening, but just trying to connect and get focused.
Unfortunately, still, you don't feel anything beyond the blade at your side. And every time you kind of put your hand to it, you feel this kind of hum of energy. So that's kind of there, but it doesn't improve it with the moonlight, anything mechanically. But you do notice it is getting steadily and steadily closer. And all of you, it's been a long day. It's edging into a long night. And it's been a couple of hours since your last encounter with Raymond and the Eldrazi. And yet there's still a little while still to go. Gambino and Sierra, all of you collectively kind of have a moment of camaraderie, tentative, but still seeming more and more real by the minute. These minutes begin to stretch long, and an hour slips by. And quickly, another hour begins to approach. And this, as you feel the kind of length of the day wearing on you. I need everyone to make Constitution saving throws.
Ooh.
That's great, Kev.
Nice.
You're good.
19.
Allie, what is it? 27?
I know, right? I rolled a 13, so 22.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
27 for the lav.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's that plus 9
What's
now
her
for her.
Oh, plus 9. I was like, what the fuck is her con save? I
And she rolled an 18. And then I got a 15.
Okay. Gord Mary?
19.
16.
Okay.
What did Hondo get, sorry?
I rolled a 13 naturally, plus 3. It's been a long day for all of you, but whether it's the adrenaline of the whatever is to come, the strength of purpose and wills that you have for the purpose you have here, and the knowledge that this was inevitable, you all prepare mentally, push through that final bit of anxiety as the moonlight stretches further and further across the lowest chamber of the Raven's Eyrie. That moonlight touches the platform, the edge of the platform, and you watch the stone of the platform begin to react. Every space that the light touches, every inch, the light begins to pass across this platform, begins to glow faint white, almost like bioluminescent particles of the stone itself are being awakened by the light of the full moon. Quinn kind of begins to move closer, and Gambino and Sierra begin to rise, and you all slowly kind of begin to move towards the new action happening. The shadows of the ceiling begin to grow thin and elongate, and they fall like black gossamer drapes over the four walls. They begin to hang in loose, ghostly panels across the entire space. The witching hour nears and the stage is nearly set. The moonbeam continues its steady march across this platform. Almost halfway, the light emitting from the stone bathes the room in more of this ethereal light. Quinn begins to kind of look at all of you. Kind of draws his staff from his back where he kind of keeps it slung. Just kind of holds it at his side. Gambino and Syrah kind of look at one another and just kind of have a quiet moment together for just off a little ways before Gambino kind of steps up, draws his pistol kind of slowly beside him and says, says nothing, but looks between all of you, giving like kind of just like a reassuring nod. Is there anything you guys are going to prepare or do as the minutes seem to get closer and closer to the end?
Does it actually feel like midnight, or could this potentially be some kind of illusion to make us think it's earlier than it is?
Make an intelligence check.
I'll use, Mira's gauging of where the actual moon is too, if I can, but not great. 14.
It's difficult to really tell as you're not arcanely trained. So any of this could, in theory, be manufactured by anybody, by the vow or by intention of the creators. Knowing that there's no direct moonlight in here is like part of like knowing that
it's all an illusion. Yeah,
it is technically already an illusion. But you didn't ever see any change in the illusion, and the fact that it's been long lasting and reacting almost like the stone of the platform is actually like reacting to the light, almost like it's coming to life in a way. Even you're not 100% sure, but you just don't feel it. You don't feel it's nefarious.
I'm having a really hard time trusting anything right now.
I'll draw Aetherius just to get ready. And then I'll look at everyone. And I'll give Brawley a little kiss on the cheek. And then I'll say, we're going to get through this. We've been through worse.
Better.
Where's Keith? This is an important question. Is he in this room where all this shit's about to go down?
Yes, because I wouldn't have told them to leave. He would have been with me this whole time.
You still have a little bit of time if you do want to put him somewhere else. This is like the minutes are creeping closer and closer to the end. If you do. If you don't, obviously, keep him here. I'm just like, it's not like you've got seconds to decide. You do have minutes to have these moments.
No, I'll keep him with me. Yeah.
That's how you both want it.
Yeah.
I know.
Keith wants to be here as much as you do.
He's part of the family.
Exactly.
I'll glance at Hondo and be like, I've seen you do a lot of stuff. That was probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen you do.
That's a high praise. Because I've done a lot of impressive stuff.
You've done a lot of stuff, that's for sure. I'll look at Lav and just kind of like give her a little like shoulder, playful shoulder. And then look at Mary and just give a very nervous wink. Maybe look at my boy Gord, try and see if he's looking at me through a helmet. Can't really gauge it. And then just get ready for this.
I'll go up to Quinn. How are you doing?
I'm scared. But it's the right thing to do. It's my purpose.
We'll try to find her.
I wish she was here. truthfully. I don't want her to see this.
Just don't say anything else. Just staying with him.
He doesn't really ever meet your eye. Kind of just constantly either looking at the moonlight or the arch itself. Just in this corner.
Does it look like there's any doubt or any wavering or no more than like, the standard nervousness?
Exactly. With your passive insight, you can tell he is resolute in his decision. That doesn't make it easy.
Right.
And I not in this cool moment because it's very like it's a really nice moment right now. Before that, can I have put the carpet back in the bag?
Sure. Yeah, you guys have had hours to like do any of that kind of stuff. So there's no issue if you wanted to do something like that. Carpet in the bag. That is an official declaration. Carpet is a win.
Is there anything else we want to do in terms of pre-prep? I don't know if there's spells. We talked briefly a while ago about potentially getting Lavender to put up a wall of stone somewhere. But obviously I know she's doing something for spells, so I don't want to speak for Amanda when she's not here.
She has like nothing left. It's
Yeah.
very low. Lav has a plane shift scroll. I believe I gave that to her.
Yeah, what other scrolls do you all have? I have one potion of greater healing. Like, this is a good time for everyone to keep stock of who has all that.
Where are my notes? Oh, in notes. Why is it not loading? That's weird. Where do I keep this shit? In equipment? Oh, here it is. I speak with dead, invisibility, mislead, plane shift. Lav has it. Catapult. Lav has it. Etherealness. Nothing too like good. I got pixie dust. two pinches of pixie dust that I'm waiting for a fun moment to use.
We have jars of spiders, which are not going to be useful to lock ourselves in a room with.
I have 3 blue and black spiders. They will grow if glass is broken. A couple Yeti fingers if we want to get crazy.
Good snack.
The one thing I don't want to bring out is I have the gate gem apparatus, which can cast its own gate spell.
Yeah, that's in your bag, right? So it'd be an action to get out of it, and then an action to use if anyone wanted to do something.
Yeah. But I think I'm good.
Anyone? Like, Gord has lots of stuff, but I think it's mostly just stuff to cast spells through. I'm just looking through anything I have to.
Gord, I've got his spells back too for short rest. It's good. I got my inspirations back, which is good.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gord, you don't get back your investiture. No, I don't think you get back your investiture or the Finger of Death you used. Those are long rest abilities. But you get your regular spell slot stuff back.
Kev, you would have had an hour if you wanted to swap out any of your attuned items. Like, you might not need that hat anymore. I don't know if there's something else you'd rather attune to.
I don't know if I had anything though. I think it was a blade dagger.
Yeah, I think you just swapped a weapon for a weapon. Or a weapon for a hat. But...
It's just
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, I was under the impression you'd already done that. If you have any left, you can use them to heal yourself full. For sure. I know you got. I know you used some earlier for sure, but I don't know if you used all of them. I don't think you were that bad.
You could have Jamichael for this moment, Kev, if you want.
That's an interesting. Would he be useful?
Probably not.
I mean, admittedly,
And if you think of something cool, sure.
the only thing I can think of is it's another thing. Keep and watch places. That's the only thing I can think of, right? Like, I already have Mira. He can't like contact you though. You have to reach out and try to look through his eyes. So.
Well, I mean, I could see then what he sees, right?
You could take an action to like if you wanted to say every 2 minutes you check in with him to see what he sees. Like, that's a potential.
Mary, your connection with Mira, you feel, is waning as well as these minutes stretch low.
She also only has 20 hit points left, so she's had a rough day.
She did great today.
She's had a rough day, but she's been on watch for the last couple of hours. And as these minutes kind of begin to stretch, she does kind of telepathically, you feel a sense of danger. And there's just like this sense of impending danger. Something is coming. And as the final few minutes begin to pass, that light pushes further across the platform. Your last few moments with one another, discussion, last moments to share thoughts and feelings. It nears the far wall, an inch or two from covering the platform entirely, maybe 3 inches. You begin to see that light reflecting off of the far wall where the archway is. And it begins to kind of reflect off the wall like it was glass or metal, not reflecting like stone. And Val, Mary, Hondo, and Gore, where it does touch, it almost reflects like the room itself. You don't see yourselves, but you can see like the wall. You can see like what looks like a room. This anticipation and fear, this morbid curiosity, a faint sense of dread wells up within all of you as the beam of moonlight creeps ever closer to its end. That sense of impending danger that Mira pushes to you, Mary. It sounds loud, and then your connection fades. The sound of battle begins to grow. You can hear it kind of faintly in the distance. You can hear it kind of reverberating through the stone, through the ground above, through the temple and outward. You hear the pounding of feet on the ground, boots. You hear the sounds of gunshots and explosions, all very faint and all very, very muffled. But another round, the potentially final onslaught of the vow is coming. These sounds of battle grow faint through the heavy muffle of space, but the pounding of your heart grows louder. This dull thud, one after another, as you all kind of begin to take your positions wherever you wish are in the room. Is there anywhere specifically you guys want to be positioned? Quinn begins his slow kind of death march towards the platform, just slowly making his way across to stand before it. Is there anywhere else you guys want to be?
I'm wary to let him touch it first. I don't know about anybody else.
Think about it as Quinn continues these kind of last, very slow steps. They're tentative, but he's not pulling back. He's making his way forward, his head slightly bowed, his eyes almost closed. His quarterstaff that he had kind of at the ready, he kind of taps onto the ground, just like kind of faintly. And it taps and thuds into the ground, but that thud was far louder than the thud of his quarterstaff into the ground. And there's this faint kind of reverberation. And your heartbeat quickens and pounds. And another thud. And it's not inside you. It's not even in this room necessarily. But another thud, and the room reverberates. And this quick sound. The light is nearly reaching the end of the platform. And Quinn just stands directly before it. But that reverberation grows louder. And the sound like trickling sand in an hourglass now adds to this foreboding atmosphere that fills the room. You see nothing. All of you are kind of heads on a swivel, perceptive as ever. Yet nothing in the room has changed. You look back, the door behind stands completely empty. There's no flicker in the shadow. These rhythmic sounds. In a moment, as this continues, Gambino suddenly reacts, and those of you close kind of watch him kind of put his hand up towards like his head, like he's hearing. And just kind of begins to kind of look skyward. And pulls out the stone and just says, Raven, what the fuck is going on up there? Report. And watch him kind of listen for a moment, kind of looking off at nothing. There's another boom, and this sound of dripping sand. And those of you who watch him, his face grows pallid as he listens. And he begins to look skyward. And he kind of quickly glances to the rest of you. Begins kind of taking a couple steps back, pulling his pistol free from its holster, and like tapping on Sierra to like move back. And just says, you're not gonna believe this, and you're certainly not gonna fucking like it. But we got incoming. As he begins to pull back into the room.
Back everyone else up. Go to the walls. Go to the walls.
Everyone begins to just kind of fan out as this sand just begins to pour from the ceiling. And this grows incredibly loud before finally a rather large dump of sand pours through what looks just like the night sky. Just opens up and rains sand. With Quinn taking his eyes off the platform for the first time, taking a battle-ready stance. Gambino begins raising his pistol. Sierra just begins getting low and ready for whatever comes. All of you, prepare. You watch as dipping through where the moon is, glistening, scaled skin, modeled skin, not scales. You see a massive mouth, grinning, humongous fangs. Just dip below where the moon was. This orb-like face dips low, singular massive eye. 8, 9, 10 eye stalks as the head of a beholder dips low through the moon. We'll pick up that next time.
No.
Why?
No.
Oh, I hate beholders so much.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time as the stage is finally set in the Wildcards battle for the fate of the 4th seal. There will be a new episode up every Tuesday, so stay tuned. But until then, keep exploring.